Now it is.
Shoot.
Well, darn, now it's live.
Well, you told me we were going live, and I started saying something, and you're like, "Well, we're not live yet," and I was like, "God darn it!"
There's a
Now we're
difference
live.
between going live and being live.
Yes. Ah, yes.
That's the difference.
Yes. That's
It's
the
like
thing.
going live and being live are two different things.
Yes. It's almost like a philosophical question. There's a difference between going live and being.
Yes.
You must be live.
Are
Don't
you?
go. Don't go. Be. Already be live. Don't go.
Oh.
That means you were not there before, but you are here now. Hey there, Navox.
Hi, Nav.
Thanks again for the carry into the LFR the other night. I appreciate that. I got many elemental runes, which is what I was going
That's
for.
awesome. Hi, Midnight.
Hey, Midnight.
Hi, Midnight.
Oh,
Hi,
I did a
Nagus. How are you?
hello, Granegus. I did a voice in the post show for Ready Player One, and I said Midnight's name in a voice, and she did not like it.
Oh, she finally
I finally found a voice that she did not like. At least saying her name, she's like, don't do that.
Hello, Just Plain Creepy and Lori in 2020 site. Happy
Hello,
Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
We're going
It's
to
the
greet everybody
11th
that
of
comes
May,
in this
April.
evening. We're just going to greet you all. It's going to be
Yes.
until we start the show. We will greet you all.
Hmm.
Oh, Kane's going to be an instigator. I want you to do it again.
Oh boy. I don't know
Is
if
it
I
creepy?
should. Well, it depends on your definition of creepy. Kane, do you think it was creepy?
Your mom's here.
Yeah, I saw that she got a new Twitch name.
Hi, Marconet's mom. Oh, she doesn't like hearing her name in the voice.
Oh man, that's not misbehaving. That's correctly behaving. 20.
Misbehaving. Yeah,
'Cause
I ate pizza for 2 nights in a row. I'm definitely misbehaving.
Mm-hmm. I went to this local Chinese place, and it used to be like a Checkers or a Rally's burger, so it's just like a drive-through, and that's
Yeah.
it. So you go through, and the thing is that it's very popular, and it's very cramped, and so every afternoon after work, people just clog the whole road. Like the whole road almost shuts down because the line goes out so far. I waited in that line for 45 minutes to get my food, and I was like, I just want the sesame chicken, and I get it, and I get home. And this is almost an hour after leaving the house now, and I get in and I sit down and I get my food and I open it up and it's beef and broccoli.
No.
I was like, dang. And I don't want to go because then I'd have to go, because they were like, no refunds if you check your food before you leave. And like a dummy, I didn't do that.
Oh.
But luckily, I like beef and broccoli.
So you ate that anyway.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It wasn't what I wanted, but it was good.
Look, it's Garrus, everybody. Say hi to Garrus.
Hello, Garrus.
Hello, Garrus, my baby. See,
I don't
Marconet
have
sees
any-
the kitty tail right now. You guys saw
Yeah,
him
I
walk
just see the
behind
cat.
me, but he sees
Yeah.
his tail right now. He sees that. There goes the tail. There's
I don't
2
have any-
cameras. Marconet sees a camera that's over here, and
Yeah.
the cat's over there, and so he just jumped onto the sofa next to me. It's too
And I don't
funny.
have any cats with me tonight, but you can kind of see the dog right there. You see part of him.
Yeah, I
He's-
can see. Is that dog butt?
Yeah,
Ah,
he's just
it
laying
was
there.
dog butt.
Yeah. He's just hanging out on the couch.
He's like, I'm sitting on the top of the couch, and you're not going to stop me.
Mhm.
No,
Hey, buddy. Yeah.
I'm talking to
Yeah,
you.
he's just laying there.
Oh. We're here. It's
there we go.
Saturday. I had a
It is
I had a
Saturday.
good Saturday. Man, I gotta tell you, my my dear husband has been cleaning this place up because he was home all week for days off and from working Easter weekend. And so he's currently tackling like the monster corner downstairs, and which is like his stuff. It's all his stuff. But it just like, how something gets like piled up in piles and piles and piles, and then you wind up seeing like how much stuff there's actually there. And he's like, "Oh, look at this and look at this," and he's finding stuff from like 2011. Like, damn, dude. Oh, man.
That's like when we move an entire aisle at work and I find price tags from 2006 under
Oh,
there.
jeez.
I was like, oh man, wow, we get a 56K modem for $85. That's a steal.
That is a steal.
You know?
Hi, every class. Oh, you know what? It's tabletop day. I totally understand if you'd miss us.
Yeah,
for
that's
Will
pretty
and
much excusable.
Felicia. It's tabletop day. It is all your stuff, honey. It's like all your stuff. And then I'm talking about the corner. I'm talking about the corner, and that's all your stuff. And not my stuff, it's your stuff. Fastest chatter in the AOL chat room. Yes, that is true. Gosh, I remember those days.
Mm-hmm. That's like in that scene in the movie Hackers when all of the guys are like, just drooling over Angelina Jolie's new laptop. I'm like, oh, dude, is that a 28.8K kilobyte BPS modem right there? Oh, dog, that's amazing.
No way, man.
And like she's making out with her boyfriend on the bed, and she like wakes up. She's like, oh, sorry, we're just checking out your sweet rig. And she's like, yeah, it is pretty sweet, isn't it? And then she like disses her boyfriend to like sit down and do that. It's cheesy movie, but I love it. Love it.
I haven't seen that one in ages.
Hack the planet.
I had to put our We Are Live tweet out. We are live.
Oh, don't hate to admit it, Midnight. It's good. Yeah, that was he did they did get married after the movie. Zero Cool and Crash Override.
Crash Override, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she like left him for Billy Bob Thornton or something.
I think she
Yeah.
kind of upgraded with Brad Pitt, I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Billy Bob's from Arkansas as well, which is a sentence I never thought I would say. Billy Bob. But
Billy
yeah,
Bob
I
is
would
Arkansas
say,
as well.
almost everybody in the state would be Brad Pitt would be an upgrade for, even though he's from Missouri. So Acid Burn and Zero Cool. Or no, it was Crash Override and Acid Burn, because I know at the end it was a crash and burn on the
Crash
buildings.
and burn. Oh, cute.
Yeah. 20, you need to relive some 90s awesome
It is
and
very
get yourself
90s,
a
though.
nice dose of hokey Hackers, because the guy who played Ben Javiri on Short Circuit 1 and 2 is the bad guy. Fisher Stevens is the bad guy.
Oh gosh, Fisher Stevens.
Oh,
Fisher Stevens.
oh,
That's funny.
it's a good movie. I like it. It's dated for sure.
I know.
But yeah, that soundtrack is one of my favorites. It turned me on to Prodigy and a lot of other artists. I forgot who else is on that, but mostly Prodigy, because they had like 2 or 3 songs on there.
So long.
I think I don't know if it's on Netflix, but I thought I saw a thing for it at some point.
Do you need to turn that vent off? Or
Yeah, if we're about to go, I can flip the switch.
Okay, like we're almost ready. When we are ready,
Okay.
then we'll do it. So
Yeah. Ready.
when we're ready,
When we're
ready.
dead. Ready.
We're letting everybody get in here. Hi, Kerosene Kid. How are you? Welcome for the live stream.
Welcome
Live
aboard
show.
the USS Torrent ThinkTank.com.
Did you say USS Torrent? Are we going on sailing now?
Well, it's a
sir.
takeoff the Homestar Runner website. It's an old Flash animation cartoon website. It was really funny, and at the beginning, the guy is the Homestar Runner is the main guy, and they're doing like fake takes for like the hey yo, welcome to homestarrunner.com, and he's like, oh, you messed up a line cut, and on one of them he's wearing a captain's hat. One of the cuts, he's like, welcome aboard the
Welcome
USS
aboard.
homestarrunner.com.
Hi,
And,
Draven and Ali Sonder. Thank you guys for coming tonight.
yes. So yeah,
Oh,
that was
that's
a bit
fun.
of nostalgia. Oh, there we go.
We gotta rub the
Yeah.
eyes out. Rub the eyes.
Rub the eyes and stretch the shoulders
Stretch
and
the,
the back.
shoulders and the back
Ugh.
and the throat and the neck and the face and all that. What?
Oh, all I need to do to stretch my throat is to do a very, very, very tired, very late night session with the Realm of Books, because that is when, yeah, homestarrunner.net.
Hi,
Yeah,
Nate.
Nate knows what I'm talking about. At least somebody's got there. I mean, you gotta have blue hair.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
I
Talking
don't know
about
what you're
us.
talking about, but
Yeah. Well, there's this another guy, Strong Bad. He's another animated character.
yeah.
He's kind of like a luchador wrestler. He's always wears the mask. He's got the gloves. Uh, it's funny. If you get a chance, check it out. It's kind of that old kind of not a really old humor.
Dravin
But,
Dresden just channeled Jeff Dunham though.
oh yeah. Oh yeah.
JeffDunham.com. I love Jeff Dunham. I saw Jeff Dunham when he
Oh, you
was,
did?
and when he was doing the small club circuits. And here's the funny thing: like my friend Trellant was at that show. We didn't know each other at the time,
Oh.
but he was at that show. It was like this small comedy club, like tiny place, like nothing like he does now, which is the huge arenas. And
Yeah.
it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen because he had Peanut and he had Walter and he had the jalapeno on a stick, but he didn't have some of the other characters yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this guy was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. And so then he started getting the stuff on Comedy Central, and it was like, oh my gosh, he's so funny. But then it was like the routine was the same every single time. It was like, oh come on, you got to do some new stuff. I mean, he came up with new characters and things.
Yeah.
But
I remember when I first saw him, it was just on some TV show and he just had Peanut. I think Peanut, maybe Walter.
yeah.
But he didn't have anything else at that point.
I
it
think at the
was-
time he had Peanut and the jalapeno on a stick. They were at the same time, or roughly at the same time.
Mm.
And oh gosh, Stand Up Spotlight.
Stand Up
I
Spotlight,
forgot
that's
about
probably
that.
it. That's probably it.
Yeah.
I think we would record that. Rosie O'Donnell, yeah, and didn't
Dude.
there was another somebody else hosted it later on. He's a comedian. Oh, of course he's a comedian who's doing Stand Up Spotlight. Oh gosh, what was his name? I can see his face, but I know that doesn't help anybody out there.
I don't remember who it was, but oh gosh, VH1. Back in
Yeah.
the day, I watched a lot of VH1.
Me too.
That is a throwback right there.
before it went all MTV on us.
Jeez. I mean, I was just watching before. I was kind of just chilling out after dinner, and they had the movie Sister Act on VH1. So I'm like, I'm watching them, which I like. I like the movie Sister Act.
I like that movie, yeah.
And but they have the ads between everything. Holy moly! It was like you watch they have this I can't remember the name of it, but it was like the morning after taxi service, and when you have to admit everything that you did. You know what I'm talking about?
That's right. Yeah, I did see a
remember.
commercial for that.
It was some like really punny name, and I can't remember what it was, but I was like, oh dude, really? That's like this is where we have devolved to, VH1.
Yeah.
That.
Oh man, I like Eddie Izzard as well, very much, and Hales as well.
Yes.
You watch a lot. Have you seen a lot of Eddie Izzard?
No, I don't really know him
man.
at all.
Dressed to Kill.
Yeah.
That's the first one. I recorded Dressed to Kill off HBO. I think in high school
Oh,
once,
wow.
and it's oh man,
I like Louis Black. Louis Black is funny.
yeah, he's funny. But yeah, Eddie is. Gosh, I'm trying to think. There's so many one-liners that I think of Eddie Izzard.
I have to see him.
Yes,
Okay.
all caps have to.
Have to see him.
HAVE have to.
Oh yeah, I'll just stop over on a Friday night. Wisconsin to Colorado, no pig. Oh, I wish it were that easy. It would be cool. But what's this? What's in my mailbox? Oh, the Torn Think Tank just went live on Twitch.
Yes, I think I have that email too. Yes, I do.
That's what
have
it
that
is,
email.
right there. All right. All right. It is 9:03. Are you
right.
ready? Are you ready
Yeah,
for
let me
a
make sure
show?
that this-
Mark Conan, are you ready for a show?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the air conditioner to go off.
Are
I turned it
are
off.
you ready for a show, lovely chat room? Are you guys
Probably gonna
ready
take
for
a
a
second.
show? Because if you're not, we'll just talk VH1 all night.
Yeah.
All that work that I
VH1
did
up all
all
night.
week. We'll just let
Remember
it
they
go.
had the at like 2 to 5 in the morning. They'd have Up All Night. No, that was
That was MTV.
USA Up All Night. With
Oh God,
Yoda.
yes, that was USA.
Yeah, like with Duckman.
Yes,
and
Hyro.
all those other things. Oh man.
God,
oh,
I
man.
remember that. That was college years for me. USA up all night. I think they're slowly telling it. Oh, okay, we've got ready checks going on in there. Look at this. We got ready checks going on in there.
Yeah.
We're
if
ready to
only
do
the,
this. Marconi, are
only
you
the
going to do the
viewers-
ad read at the beginning of the show, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was just trying to get the thermostat up enough
That's
to where
fine.
it would turn off. Okay.
Is that going to be your job tonight? Are you going to do that read? Is that what you're going to do?
Yeah, I can do that. Wait, what are we doing? What are we
What are
doing?
we
Where
doing?
are we going?
What are we doing? What are we doing? What the hell is going on? Yeah. All right. Then we are going to create a show for you right before your eyes in 3, 2, 1.
Tonight's episode of Torrent Think Tank has been brought to you by Doghouse Systems, makers of the best gaming PCs on the planet. Doghouse has a great product, we all know that, but what sets them apart from the competition is their commitment to great service. We hear all the time how impressed our listeners are with the process of buying a Doghouse from start to finish. It's a personalized experience that will blow you away like no one else in the computer industry. Get double the memory on your brand new gaming system by going to doghousesystems.com and enter the code TTT, that's triple T, at checkout. Go get yourself the best gaming PC. Well, I screwed up the last line.
It's okay. You can still go with it.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post.
Yes.
Go get yourself the gaming PC you've been dreaming of today.
You're listening to Torrent Think Tank, the World of Warcraft podcast for you, the World of Warcraft player.
Welcome to episode 141 of Torrent Think Tank. Today is Saturday, April 11th, 2015. It is 9:06 p.m. Central Time Zone on the Saturday night. It is Saturday night. My name is Jules, and I am here with the awesome, the real big fish t-shirt wearing man, Mark Honan. Hi.
Good evening, Jules. Good evening, everybody. It's good to be here.
You sound so much better than you did last week. My gosh, you poor thing.
I feel much more conscious as well. I feel much more awake as I did last time. I was listening to a clip of last week, and it was just Jules talking for a while, and I go, yeah, yeah, and that was pretty much it.
Kids
So,
don't
yeah,
do drugs because that's what he did before the show. No.
Well, it was Advil allergy and sinus or something because I was feeling horrible, but I'm feeling a lot better now, as you can probably tell by my voice and my ability to create sentences in correct structure.
And your energy level, it's like everything is just transformed. I'm so happy you're feeling better. Being
Me
sick
too.
all week long and not getting enough sleep is just the
Mhm.
pits.
Yeah, it's
hate
even
it.
worse than normally when I feel good and I still don't get good sleep.
I know. I know. So what's going on? How was your week? What's happening in the world of Mark Honan?
Well, it's going pretty well. Work wasn't too bad this week, and well, we didn't get I didn't get to raid or anything this week, but we did have the potentially game-changing change to the game where the WoW token was put into place
Yes.
and unlocked and opened for the world to see. And now we're all staring like nervous stock market people every few hours to see where it's ticking next.
It's funny
But-
because when the WoW token went live, Mark Honan and I were texting back and forth about it
Mhm.
because I knew that he was going to go after buying one with real money and then selling
Mhm.
it.
Yep.
And it was really interesting, and he's just like, well, let's see how fast it sells, and it's like it was just this back and forth.
Yeah, I kept checking every hour or so, and it finally sold a few, like 3 or 4 hours after I bought it. I bought it, and I sold it right at the beginning, so I got the full 30,000. Which, if you haven't been following it, it kind of dipped down to almost 20K, and then it went back up to like 27. And right now, Navox in the chat room is saying that it's at 23K
Yeah.
now. So I made out a little bit ahead with that one. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of I kind of wish I'd bought more, but I didn't really want to sink more than $20 into it just right out of the gate because, I can afford the $15 a month, and I make gold pretty easily, but I could always use a little bit extra, to buy another TCG mount or something off the auction
Maybe
house.
one or two.
Just a couple.
Yeah, I love it.
So, yeah.
I think that You know, and what that was actually one of our tell us one thing questions that I didn't put into the show tonight because I knew we would talk about it at the beginning. And one of them was asking if I had bought any, and the answer was no, I didn't. I have enough gold that I could buy one for myself, but I was lucky enough about almost a year ago now. I was lucky enough to get a friend of mine who had been given a year's worth of WoW and didn't use it, to buy it from him to use it, and I got it at kind of like a friend discount. So I was able. So I just have this year of time on my account, so I could just put it on there. But I don't know. This is not driving me like it has been driving other people. Has it just been slow for you?
Well, other than just the initial, because I wanted to buy one right out of the gate because I was like, I could always use an extra 30K. And especially I'm glad now because the price has never gone above 30K. So I kind of got in right when the getting was good. But, I'm not going to really buy one like all the time. Maybe every once in a while if I'm just like, oh, I could use an extra little bit of gold, or, if I get just a little bit of mad money I can throw at it, I might do that. Or if I'm in a pinch and I'm just short of buying my next mount on the list, or something like that.
I hear the puppy in the background.
Yeah, he's running around.
Running around in the background.
Yeah. But, gold's not too hard to make in this expansion. So, even at 23K, I made 23K in like 3 days. So it's, to pay for a month of WoW, heck, yeah. Go ahead.
For
go
someone
for it if
like you, it's like the perfect thing because you know and you spend the time to earn the gold so you can get it. I think it's an excellent idea. It's just not really, it's not really what I'm going after. But I know it's nice to know that it's there. So if I'm just like, this month, I don't know if I really want to pay for WoW, so I'll just buy myself a WoW token instead, because I've earned the money by going and running old dungeons and selling stuff on the auction house. Okay, cool. So it's cool.
Yeah, and it's a complete win-win-win situation for Blizzard because even if I cancel my sub but I still pay, other people are essentially paying for my subscription for me and giving Blizzard an extra $5 for the convenience.
That's right.
So they're like nobody loses in this equation.
That's right. So
except for maybe the third-party gold farmers, but I know they're trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do, and I don't even know anything about how that's going to happen, but yeah. But other than that, this week I got my hunter, and she's up to 100, and I got her geared enough to where I could get into LFR and took her through High Mall for the first time, and didn't do too much DPS, but I went through and killed all the bosses and didn't get a single piece of loot. So I'm still where I'm at. Still where I'm at before, and I'm like, okay, maybe next week. So yeah, she's getting geared up because I tried to take her into 25-man heroic Blackwing Descent. Barely killed the first boss. Her DPS is pretty low still, so I'm going to be gearing her up so that she can help me make gold and do mount runs and stuff like that, so I can have like 5 or 6 characters now running that gauntlet. So yeah, that's about all I did this week. It's about all I had time for. But what about you, Jules? I know we didn't really get to raid this week, but what else did you do?
We didn't. For the first time in a really long time, we had to cancel our raid because we had just too many folks who were. It was like this weird thing of vacations, the holiday, which was Easter Monday for some, and all these other things, and so we just didn't have enough people, and so we were just like, okay. So rather than try to just find people to raid, and then I didn't want to deal with it. We said, you know what, we're gonna cancel this week, and we're gonna come back at it next week. And luckily, it works out okay that you can actually join us this coming week as well. Because I felt really bad. You were able to come with us last week, and we didn't have enough people.
It's like finally get off nights for a bit, and then they won't let me go.
I'm sorry.
But it's okay. We can go next week.
That's right. We will go next week because I think everyone's going to gnaw their own arms off if we don't go. Everybody's just so itchy to go. So it's just like, I know, guys, I'm sorry. We're only one night a week. But if everybody's got stuff going on one night a week where you got to work and this person's on vacation and this person's sick, and I'm like, okay.
Yep.
I know.
It happens that, it wasn't really a bad reason for the attendance boss to wipe us. It was, people are off.
Yeah. Yeah. So So I don't have any news about Cat on Fire. So I can talk a little bit about what my week has been like for the changes in my world, you know, what's going on with my job situation and all that kind of thing. So, my condensed hours at my job are going to start not this coming week, but the week after that. So it's about another week or so before that begins. And it's, since it's a 25% reduction in hours and pay, that means I'm pretty much working 30 hours a week instead of 40. So we're trying to work out the schedule. I mean, luckily they're being super flexible with me, because it just so happens that with all these things of, you know, kind of changing, I need to start making some appointments, like with a financial planner, and they're only available during the day. And so you've got to find time to go. And so, but it's this time in my life where I'm just kind of looking at things and saying, what am I going to do now? Because the honest truth in this situation is that, and my employer knows this, is that my job is not anything that I am passionate about at all. It's just, it's money to pay the bills, and I care about them and they care about me, but it's not a situation where we're all, you know, where these guys are building a startup company and it's their passion and it's their want to make it go. I'm like, I am really happy to see things when they're successful, and it sucks when they're not, but I am not as invested mentally as they are. And so it's, you know, and I've been going through this whole thing, this whole soul searching thing forever of like, what is it that I want to do with myself to be there, you know? And whenever you come back to it, I always, you know, think about, well, if I could just sit here and do this all day, this, I would be a happy camper.
It'd be a dream come true.
I know it would be. And so, and as luck has it, I don't know, luck, universe kind of saying something. I have been getting some pretty strong suggestions from different parts of my existence, people who I've run into, who have told me that I should be a life coach. And at the first time I heard it, I was just like, what is that? What? And I kind of just blew it off. I didn't really pay attention to it. And as it turns out, one of my coworkers is a former life coach. She did this back in the early 2000s. You know, she had full training certification, and she's like, I think you should be one. And I was like, I don't know. Like, what does that mean? And I think I mentioned this last week. I was at when I was getting my massage for my shoulder. My massage therapist said the same damn thing to me. She says to me, I think you need a career change. I think you need to be a life coach. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, think about it. Think about what you do, what you love to do. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So it just has turned into this like exploration of like, can I really do this? Could I really go ahead and look at doing this? What would it entail? How would I go into it? And, you know, this right now, like, I don't ever do this. I don't ever, like, spill the beans on what's going on with me until I've got everything, every duck lined up in a row and every T crossed and every I dotted, so I can answer every question. And, you know, I just said the other day, I'm like, you know what? I said this to Kane. I said, F it. I am just going to talk about this on the show because this is a journey. I could be on the first legs of this journey. And you know what? If you guys are going to be along with me, you should be along with me for the duration. So what I have done is my coworker told me that she knew this woman who was an exceptional life coach that she knew, and she's doing these free sessions of talking to people about what it means. What is it? Like the down and dirty bits. And, you know, like, how do you do it? And what are all the things that are involved in it? And what do you do? What do you do? What don't you do? And so I sat in on this 2-hour session, and I absolutely loved it. And I was like, you know, something's telling me something. So I am going to hire this woman to tell me what it would take to do this. I am going to hire a life coach to help me become a life coach. Because apparently that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So
Well, I love the way Draven Dresden put this in the chat room. He says, "Life is a journey. Time is a river. The door is ajar."
so true.
I don't remember if that's from something or not, but I love it. That's funny.
So, I think it'll just be, and this actually makes me super nervous to talk about this publicly because it's not something I would normally do. But like I said, I have been put in a position where things are going to change for me, whether I want them to or not. So I am needing to make some choices, some decisions. And yeah, I am at that point right now. So, and I could fall on my face and you guys will see the whole damn thing. But,
Aw.
but if I succeed and it turns out to be something, I think it'll be a cool thing. Hopefully it will help others in this way. If you're thinking about making a huge change or following a dream or things to change in your career to go after what you love, maybe I can help with that, by you seeing what I'm going through. So yes, it is this is like nerve-wracking. I feel like I'm bearing my soul. Boom. But yeah, so yeah, keep your fingers crossed for me. I've got a long road ahead of things to do. Luckily, I still have a position that's in place. I just have to be there less time. But I have something to help fill in the time. I'm going to be doing some contract work, some independent contract work for some time there. So I've got that time to fill in there, which is awesome. And so life is good, You just got to take the punches as they roll towards you and block them before they hit you in the face. All right.
Didn't they take block out of the game in Warlords?
They did.
Along with hit?
They did. So
How
what
are
do
we
you
gonna-
just take it?
I guess I don't know, maybe try and just dodge out of it. Well, they took dodge out
They
too.
took dodge
Jeez.
out too. So what are you gonna do?
Run away.
Run away.
Well, I know I speak for I'm hoping all of the Moo crew when I say best of luck and we've got your back on this. You know I said that already this week, but
Thanks.
yeah, you're gonna do fine.
Yeah,
You're
you know
gonna do
what?
fine, kid.
I did. Thank you. I mean, it is what I love to do. It is the things I do already. And so if I can turn that into something that I love doing and that it turns into employment for me as well, that's even better. So, so thank you guys for listening to my dreams, my possible huge changes and pushing it there. And the chat room is wishing me luck. I love you guys. Thank you. And we're going to switch gears for just a quick second before we get into the meat of the show to remind you that the Minnesota meetup is on its way.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be a little earlier than it has been in the past. It's going to be Saturday, May 2nd from 2 to 6 p.m. It's at the Herkimer Pub and Brewery in Minneapolis.
Herkimer.
And and folks are also gathering to hang out beforehand at the Minneapolis Comic-Con, which just announced that they have Kevin Smith coming to.
Oh, nice.
I know, Kevin Smith. So, there's lots and lots of people that are going to be at this one. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty good one. So if you want to learn more about the Minnesota meetup, please check it out at signalsmedia.com/meetup. There is there's a link to our to the Evite that we have where you can sign up and get all of your stuff in there, sign up so you can RSVP so we know how many people are coming. You can get all the details. It'll be great. So enjoy it. Gasping too much air. I was like, breathe, Jules, breathe. So we are going to be formatting the show just a slight bit differently than last time we've done it.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, because we have two questions that fall under the think tank category and not necessarily the discussion category. That's how things have been skewing lately in the mailbox. So we are going to be doing Think Tank Part 1 and Think Tank Part 2. So let's start with the Part 1.
Torn between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
All right. So this is the Think Tank Part 1. This is the part of the show where you guys send in your emails, questions, and requests for advice about anything you choose. It can be real life. It can be WoW. It can be whatever you're looking for. And this show is all about real life. There's a lot. You're all WoW players, but sometimes real life is something that you need some advice on. So that's what we're going to do right now. Here is number 1 question. Hello, Jules and Mark Honan. I've been listening to the show for quite a while, have heard many stories and the advice you give to the people who are in need of it, and I thought I would try to see if you could help me. I will start in the beginning. Back in 2002, I started dating my high school sweetheart. For a long time, it went very well, and I was thinking about asking her to marry me. We were together for a little over 5 years when one day she came home early from work to tell me she was breaking up with me. I was unemployed at the time and had nowhere else to go, so she was kind enough to let me stay until I had found a job and place to live. I moved out after about a year in 2008, was working 2 jobs to try and stay afloat, and the only thing I had to do for fun was to play WoW. In 2010, I decided to give up my work, my place to live, and the one thing that had kept me going, and I started driving my truck to leave the city and try to move on with my life. Things have gone really well since then. I've gotten married, have 3 dogs, and I'm able to play WoW while I'm on the road. With all the things that have changed, my ex is still there. She has become friends with my mom, an employee for my mom, and when my mom got married this year for the first time since she was divorced before I was born, I was unable to make it because I knew my ex was going to be there. I did get to meet with my mom last week to see pictures and talk with her for a bit, but in several of the pictures was my ex, and it brought all of these feelings that I don't want to have anymore. I don't hate her anymore, but I want to have my heart stop feeling like it breaks in 2 every time I see a picture. The guy she is with is awesome, is someone I have considered to be my best friend, and they started dating when I left the city, and I have plenty of anger towards him. How can I get these feelings to stop? How can I truly say that I've moved on with my life? Thanks for any help you can give. From GDS. P.S. I would like to give a slash moo to you guys for doing the show. I know I'm not supposed to. You guys. And I'd also like to give my pen pal Quipanjan a slash moo. He cheered me on to get to my 3rd 100 even after his guild moved on without him. Okay. So, ex-girlfriend, still in the picture in your mind. So what is this, and why is this here, and how do we get past it?
Well, it's easy to understand why it could be there because you weren't the one that ended the relationship. You were the one that got dumped. So, you were not a willing participant in the breakup, so that's why, your feelings were still there in the beginning, whether or not hers were. And that's a hard thing to get over. Like even from personal experience, it still is.
Yeah.
And, I've, after you've dated somebody and you care for them, a part of you, I think, always cares for them unless something just insanely bad happens. Like there's still exes of mine that whenever I talk to them, I know there's still, there's not like residual feelings, but there's still familiar states of mind when I talk to them, or, and he's like, cause I remember who I was when I was with them. And so those feelings are, they're not there in the sense that you want to pursue it. They're just there for the sake of memory, and for the way you were feeling then. Yes. So I think that's pretty normal as far as I can tell, at least the feeling that having those feelings. What do you think, Jules?
Well, I think there's a couple of things going on here. There's a strong feeling of betrayal, both from her and from the guy that she is with, who he considered to be his best friend. They started dating when he left. So he leaves the city. She starts dating him, and now she is married to him. So he has kind of double of the betrayal feeling going
Yeah.
on there.
Definitely.
There's a couple of holes that in the email that we don't have. We don't know. What we don't know is, like, what her reasons were that she decided to break up with him when she did. I mean, and then they had to coexist almost a year in the same residence until he could get a job and get on the road again. So there's that part of it where he has to live with her and she wants to move on with her life. So that's a tough one as well. And so now there's an additional part where she is now spending time with his mother. So she's kind of re-entering that picture a bit. He's seeing her in these pictures. There's a lot of unresolved feelings, but I can't say. So I want you to go back a little bit. I want you to go back to, like, the days of high school when you had someone who I'm going to do the same thing because I think this is a good exercise. But when you can think about the first person that you considered that you probably would love, the first person that you were dating that you could have said, I love you, is that someone who broke your heart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So mine was
Twice.
a guy. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Mine was a guy who I dated in high school, and he did not like me as much as I liked him. And he dumped me. He was a year older than me. He dumped me when he was a senior and I was a junior, and he was leaving to go to college because he didn't want to have a relationship. And I was devastated, like just devastated. And it was so hard for me to get over that. And so, I'm kind of asking all of you to do that exercise in your head. The first person that you really, really loved, or that you thought you really loved. Now, in this case, he was ready to marry this girl. So then take yours up a notch, to the point where you had your heart broken from somebody who you were thinking about marriage with. And so I think that what happens with that is you have this picture in your head of you didn't have the closure because they closed it on you. If that person broke your heart, you never got the chance to have those feelings resolve. You never got a chance to say, I'm over you. It was just that thing. I mean, I remember, and I held on to that pain and heartbreak for years. It was on my mind for years, and I'm like, but what if I did something differently? What if I said something differently to him?
Yeah.
What if I was different, And you take that in, and it absorbs in your brain. It just gets in your brain, and you think, why was I not good enough?
Yeah. The what ifs.
Yeah.
Those are the two most haunting words in the English language.
And
at least for me.
And I think that what you just said is exactly what the problem for GDS is that you're still stuck in the what ifs. Even though you are married now and happy and having a good life, there is that part of you that wonders what would have happened if she hadn't broken it off with you. If you had, and that's the thing. But you're not the same people anymore. And I guarantee you, if you stand in front of her now, like if you went home to visit your mom and you happen to see her because she has an employment with your mom, that you guys would be very, very, very different people than you were back in 2000. You were starting dating in 2002. You moved out in 2008. That's 5 years ago. In 5 years, you have changed. She has changed. And, and sometimes it's literally like, yeah, you're not what I have built up in my head anymore.
Yeah. I've had similar situations because even in college, my heart was broken.
Yep.
And, and the thing is that I'm still friends with pretty much all of my exes because I don't like to burn bridges or be enemies. And they're legitimately friends of mine.
Right.
But, I look at them now and think I'd like having a conversation, but yeah, I can kind of see now why that I wouldn't really be as happy, or it wouldn't be the ideal situation that you've built up in your mind. It's never as good as you build it up in your mind.
Yeah.
So
And apparently I can't do math. It's 7 years, not 5 years. Thank you.
well,
Billy.
later in the letter, it mentions 2010. So I think that's probably where you got the 5 years. Was it 2010?
Yeah,
So
I was
2008.
okay. Yeah, that's where, because I see
Yeah.
it's like right
It's like
near each
right
other. Thank
yeah.
you. I'm sorry. But I just, and then there's this, I mean, and they just pointed it out in the chat room, Marilena did. I have to wonder about his mother choosing to have his ex attend her wedding over her son.
Well, it wasn't really over her son. It was just that she was there because I guess she's friends with her mom, because she's friends with his mom because of work, and she wanted to be there for her coworker. But he decided not to go because she was there.
Right. He decided not to go
let
to
his ex come between him and his mother's own wedding.
Yes.
Which I don't know if I would have made the same decision. I would have tried to stomach through it, or see if my wife could go with me to kind of be an anchor there for me. That's definitely a thing to consider, is having your wife just there's nothing going on here, but I just need some support here for this.
Yeah. And so, the things that would be possible to get these feelings to stop. I mean, I hate to say this, but I feel like you need to see her. You just need to see her and lay eyes on her and say hello and feel the awkwardness that's going to happen when the two of you stand in front of each other. And to realize that what is picked up and built up in your head, what you have pictured and mulled over and lost sleep over, I'm sure, because if you're choosing to not go to your mom's wedding over the fact that you're going to not be able to stand in front of this woman, that is really not good. And so I think you do need to possibly see her to try to break this mental buildup that you've put into your place. 2020 Site in the chat room is suggesting counseling. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I agree as well. If it is causing you problems in your life, it's causing you problems in your marriage. I can't imagine that it's not. And I got to ask you, GDS, I've got to ask you if you've ever talked to your wife about this. If you haven't talked to your wife about it, if you haven't mentioned any of this, this is a big rift between the two of you. This is a not good situation, because if your wife doesn't know how you feel, if your wife is going around and you're not communicating your feelings, and it feels super weird to tell your wife that you're weirded out because you can't go to your mom's wedding because your ex is there. But your partner is the person that you need to be telling everything to. And if you can't tell her about this, then that's a problem in your marriage. It's a big problem. So
and I do think that talking to her should help if you haven't already, because if she's at least a bit understanding, she would understand that the awkwardness is not it's not representing any current feelings you have towards her. It's just that, you had these and they were unresolved, and I just need your support, because I'm here for you. I love you. I'm with you, but I just need some help through this.
Yeah. Well, and that's to your wife. I mean, I think about what would you say to her if you had the opportunity to stand in front of her at this moment, to your ex, and to stand in front of her and tell her whatever you wanted to tell her. What is it the first thing comes to your head? Do you want to tell her that you miss her? Do you want to tell her that you're not over her? That's the thing. What is it that you, the first thing, if you had the opportunity to have a moment where she could actually hear you and you could tell her anything you wanted to, what is the thing? And I just, I think about the days when I was in school and I got my heart broken by that guy, and I would have given everything to be able to stand in front of him and say, I just miss you, and, but over time I realized he was a jerk to me. He really was. He was not a good person. And he had, he'd given me every sign in the world that he wasn't interested, and I never saw it. And it took me to get to my adult life to actually realize that this was the case. And I wonder if you have blocked out of the other things. If there are other things related to your relationship, there had to have been things in the relationship that would have indicated that she wasn't happy, but you may not have seen them at the time, and you may have chosen not to see them. So I don't know. I just, the situation is a tough one. I mean, there's some debate in the chat room of whether or not you should actually see her or not. I feel like you should. I feel like you should actually have a moment where you're able to bump into her and say hello and see if there's any, but I honestly think the very, very first thing I would do in this situation is, if I wasn't talking to my spouse about it, I should be. Even though it is horrible and you're telling them, but honesty is going to get you a lot further than dishonesty and avoidance. And if you're not communicating about this stuff with your spouse, then you don't have open lines of communication about what's going on with you. And they're not your best friend, and they're not the person who's supposed to be there for you when you need it. So So going to your current spouse to try to talk with this, and it's a minefield, I know. So it's like, it's a minefield, but because you're going into that and you're going to raise all of these doubts in her head too, but you're supposed to get through these types of things together as a team.
Yeah.
So you're supposed to get them together. It is something that, you're supposed to get through the tough stuff, the things you can't get through. And if your spouse really, if you really love your spouse, then this is something she should be able to help you with. And if you need to go to counseling together after that point, then you go to counseling together after that point.
Yeah.
But that's what I feel like you need to do. You've got to kick out these old emotions and get them out of your system, and you've got to resolve them, and you've got to figure out what they really mean to you.
Yeah, because otherwise they'll clog up the system and still be there long after they should have been, which they already have been,
Yeah.
And it's tough because, like I said earlier, you didn't make this decision; it was made for you.
Yep.
So, and it takes a lot for people to get over stuff like this. It's different for everybody, but man, there's one or two in my past that took me years to get over.
Yeah.
And it was rough. It was very rough. As my friends that knew me back then could attest to.
Yeah.
But it's something that you've got to get over and move past it, because you'll be a lot happier on the other side of it.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's rough.
Yeah.
It's very rough.
So, I mean, the chat room is saying counseling beforehand. My choice in this one would be that you need to talk to your spouse about this.
Yeah, that's first, and then possibly the counseling after that.
If you don't know how to do that, if you don't know how to have that conversation, then counseling will help you with that.
Yeah.
To get you
That's
to
a
have
good
the
idea.
communication, possibly in a safe place. But if this information is not something that your wife knows, she should. And I know that this sounds weird, guys. I know that this sounds like you're going to just destroy your marriage, but I gotta reiterate this. If you have feelings for somebody else and you say you're happily married, and you're not telling your wife about it, that is a problem. Because, or if it's the opposite thing. If you're a lady and you're not telling your husband about it because you can't tell him about it, that is not a good, strong foundation to a relationship. There's a problem there, because you should have the ability to communicate about anything that's going on. If you can't, that is a problem that you need to work through to get the communication open, or else your relationship is going to have problems. It's going to have challenges. So I think there's a whole lot of, there's a lot of debate in the chat room.
Yeah.
My final advice on this one is that you need to tell your wife, and if you don't feel confident and comfortable telling her, then you need to get counseling to help you with that part of it. So that's mine. I don't know what you think.
Well, I'm pretty much of the same mind about it. I mean, in a ideal situation, you would be able to go and talk to your ex about this and say, hey, I just needed to chat and let this out. It's like, I just wanted to say I got unresolved feelings, but I'm happy. Even sometimes it could even be as much as just telling her what you're telling us,
Yeah.
to, sending that at her is kind of maybe a way to attack the old feelings and
Yeah.
break them down with telling her how happy you are, just as happy as they are. But like they're saying in the chat room, the counseling may be maybe a better way to get your ducks in a row to see if you actually need to go talk to her or not.
Right. Right.
Sometimes you could do it mentally without even talking to her, but it may come down to the, like, I just need to just hash this out, even if it's not like mean or anything. It's just going up and saying, blah, just telling her, and maybe having a cup of coffee and talking, and that way it's all settled, clear the air, and then you won't have any more what ifs, because you'll know, because you were there.
My one other thing I wanted to mention too is the biggest way I got over the heartbreak of the guy that really broke my heart when I was in high school and college.
Kane.
Not Kane. Unfortunately and fortunately, it's not Kane. But I wound up being in a position where I really had to get down and dirty honest with myself. And I had to realize that there are two sides of a relationship. And though you think that you have been victimized and injured emotionally by someone else because they broke up with you, and, I thought everything was great, or we could have made it work, and if we just had talked about it, if I had known, all those things. And I had to come to terms with myself and to say, this relationship was not good. And it was not the right thing for me. And to just kind of let things go. Just let it go. And so now, I mean, years later, I was able to friend him on Facebook and see, he's married. He has children. He looks so happy. I would never have been happy with him like that. And, so it was just, it was meant to go in that direction. But the rejection is so mentally destructive. So when someone rejects you and you gave them everything that you had and it wasn't good enough, that is the stuff. Oh, that is the stuff that'll tear you down to your core and put you in a position where you're just literally like, I am not good enough. I suck. No one is going to love me. How in the world could anybody want to care about me? And so it's hard. It's one of the hardest things to get over, but you have to build up your own self-worth and have to realize that it isn't, it wasn't just you and it wasn't just the other person. It was the two of you together that didn't work. So, yeah. And so we apologize for all of the memories that are being kicked up at the present moment of people and the things that people have gone through in their lives. But, it is sometimes, if you are hanging on to that old baggage, that is the stuff that needs to get set at the door while you walk through it. So
definitely.
So for GDS, we wish you a lot of luck. Very curious to see what you decide to do. And, you've heard a couple of different schools of thought, but, it's going to come from your heart. It's going to, what you feel most comfortable with is going to be the right thing for you. So good luck with everything.
Yes. Best of luck at it.
Yes. And if you would like to send us your questions and let us and the chat room debate about it, you can do so at questions@torrenthinktank.com. That is where you can find us. And send them on over. We love getting questions.
Yes, we do.
So, Mark Honan, we're going to talk a little bit about our Patreon right now. I wanted to mention and first of all say thank you to all of those who support our show, our Patreon. It is something that helps out the show tremendously. And,
yes.
So tell them a little bit about what we do, what the Patreon does for this show.
Well, the show has always been free and it will continue to be so. We're not going to start charging you to listen. That's ridiculous. But for those of you that want to support the show, go the extra mile and show how much you appreciate it by helping support our show. Even just you can do $1 a month, and that helps us a lot. We do fun things with our patrons. We play streams, like we do Cards Against Humanity streams. We're
Those
working
are
on a
fun.
couple other things. We've also got special mini cast recordings on topics that they can even suggest, stuff like relationships, dealing with challenging friendships, conquering your fears, and a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, that's just some of the ones that we've put out there recently.
That's just some of them. I mean, and every once in a while, I can do a little creative post-production thing and kind of work and do something special for you guys. And also, we're already nearly halfway to our first goal, which would create a searchable database of all of our questions and discussion topics. So that way it's got easy access for it. I mean, if you got a question, we've got 141 episodes now worth of content that you can easily search through. It's going to be archived. It's going to be very user-friendly, ready to go. So if you got a question, want to see we've actually talked about it before on the show, then there you go.
Yeah.
So, and we're almost halfway to our goal. So if you feel the need to support the show and support to see it grow and awesome places we're going to take it, then all you got to do is go to patreon.com/TaurinThinkTank and just fill it out. There you go.
Yeah, we do Kermit flails every time you guys donate. So thank you guys so much for your support of the show. And we so appreciate it. All right. So I am going to, since this is part 2, we'll do the bumper again. Why don't we?
Go ahead now.
Torn between options? Let Triple T help you sort it out.
All right. Like I said earlier in the show, we have enough questions, not discussion questions, that we're just going to do a 2-part think tank this week. You know what? Because it's our show and we can do whatever we want.
Yep.
It's our show. We can do what we want. So here we go. Here's our second question of the night. Dear Triple T, I'm a monster. When I look in a mirror, I don't see a person. I see a monster. They tell me I'm a good person. I'm not. They say I'm polite and or sweet. I'm not. I pretend to be the things they say, but in my head I'm thinking, go away, go away, go away before I light you on fire, etc. In general, I see most people as a waste of my oxygen. There are, of course, exceptions to this, but the vast majority of people are not exactly on my give a damn meter. I know this isn't a good way to exist, but with every betrayal over the years, including several from my own quote-unquote family, I just see people as less and less until they prove otherwise. So my question to you is this. How can something, not someone, come back from this? Or is it just too late? Thanks in advance from Illidan. P.S. If it matters, you and the Moo Crew are among those worth your oxygen. This is a compliment.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
Thank you, Illidan. So I think that actually that is where I want to start. Why is this group of people, these people who come to the chat room and listen to the show and part of this community, and us, why are we worth our oxygen, but others are not?
Because biologically nothing separates us from anyone else on the planet.
Right.
Like, really. It may be the comment about his family where he said, I just see people as less and less until they prove otherwise. It may be the fact that he thinks we have already proven ourselves worthy of oxygen.
Yep.
So that may be the reason. But other than that, logically it doesn't follow. If some don't, all don't.
Yes. So
Because
there are some, let's just start this off right away. There are some very, very deep-seated issues right here. And so the number one thing that Illidan definitely does need is counseling and probably some lengthy counseling because there's some concerning things in here. Some very deep-rooted internal visions of who you are. And so these, and so I didn't want to just say you got to go to counseling and be done. It's not how I want to handle this. But number one, if there is ever a possibility that you can, please do, because you do think that that's really important. So but I wanted to talk a little bit about the, you know, I have gone through parts of this in my life.
I have too, absolutely.
Gone through this feeling of people freaking suck. Have you gone through that?
I have. It's not. It's more of the self feelings than the outwardly. You know, sometimes I would feel that about other people or people, but you know, I did have a good family. You know, I still do have a
Yeah.
great family, so that kind of grounds me in the not thinking the whole world has gone to pot, but it didn't help any of my self-loathing.
Yeah.
So I don't have as much of the outward hatred as I do the inward hatred,
Yeah.
in similarity to our writer.
Right. So I
So-
mean, and I think that's, you know, that's where I was going with it, is that, I mean, I've gone through the period of time where I think people just freaking suck. But mainly when I think back on it, it was really because I thought I sucked worse.
hmm
It was horrible for me to be rejected or treated unfairly or poorly, or, you know, people were selfish and uncaring and things like that. That's how I saw the world, you know?
Yeah.
People are so self-centered and stupid, and nobody cares about anybody else except themselves. And, you know, and it is so easy for us to get bogged down in that mindset. I went through that period of time in my 20s. I would say probably around age 25 to about age 28, 29.
hmm
It was probably a good 4-year period in there. And I wanted to go back real quick to something that Nate said in the chat room.
Okay.
Let me back up a little bit here. He said, my first question is, does Illidan believe that they are worth oxygen themselves?
Yeah, because it did kind of seem kind of almost like a high and mighty type of stance in a little bit of the tone, not a whole lot, but more, you know, they're not worthy, but you know, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it or what. But
You're seeing it. It's just, that is a defense mechanism 100%.
Uh-huh.
It's a wall that you put up so that you don't let people hurt you. And, you know, you have to prove to me, and you know, how many of us, raise your hand in the world, how many of us have been through a period in your time in your life where you feel like everybody who you come encounter with and work with, you can only be my friend if you prove to me that you're worthy of being my friend, because I've just spent too much time in my life getting hurt by people and disappointed by people and having people promise things that they don't deliver on. So you've got to prove to me that you're worth your oxygen. How many times have you been through that in your life? I have.
I can't say that I have.
Yeah. And that's great, because you
know.
don't want to be there.
I know I don't want to. You know, I've had some good friends over the years, some that have stuck around. So
Yeah, but I think that there are a lot of people listening to this show who have been through the same damn thing, because you've been through a situation where you feel now. He's obviously not here to answer this question for me, but I really wanted to know, what is it that makes us and the community that we have centered around us worth our oxygen in your mind? Is it because we take the time to talk about these things as a group, as a community, as a group of people who discuss these tough things and don't reject and don't judge about people having questions, problems, concerns, feelings, you know? And so that's the big question in my mind, is like, what is it that makes us different than everybody else that you encounter? Because I think those are going to house your answers. Some of your answers are going to be right there.
Yeah.
What are the traits, the things, you know, there's a lot of things here. There's betrayal. There's a feeling of rejection, people who don't, I mean, he used the word betrayal. Every betrayal over the years, some with my family, is horrible. I mean, you know, and we talked about this before. Rejection and betrayal these are the toughest things to come back from, because it just whittles away at your self-esteem. Makes you feel like lesser of a person. So every single time that you put yourself out there, it's going to be harder.
Mm-hmm.
So I gotta say, how do you come back from this? The very first part of it, in my my non-expert opinion, is that you have to start loving yourself. You have to start loving the person that you are. I remember, when I was prepping the show, and some of the things, I try not to prepare things for the show, but things kind of drift into my head as I'm putting things into the notes. And there was a story that came into my brain that I think I want to share for this. When I was younger, I was very, very self-conscious, low self-esteem. It's a tough feeling to feel like you just don't fit in. I was different. I was always different. I was exuberant, and I was creative, and I was different. And so what happened is, like, I remember this time where we used to have this we had a summer home kind of thing. It was a camper, and we had this campground where we would go to, and it was that was our summer home. And it was a community. There were tons of people that were there year round or in the summer times. And we wound up, I was a preteen, teenager, early teens. I had a mega crush on this kid. Mega crush on him.
Oh, yeah.
And, like 12, 13 years old. And he ran with this group of kids. And I so wanted to hang out with them. So bad, because then I would be around him, right? So I would go to places where I knew they would be. And it was like they would try to lose me. But I didn't know this. So they'd, like, go someplace else. And then then I would try to follow them. And then they would go someplace else. And
hey guys, what's going on? I see you guys tried to run away over there. I found you.
Talk about embarrassing now. But the worst part of the whole thing is that one day one of them walked up to me and said, and this guy's name was Rob, who I had a crush on. One of the group there walked up to me and said, Rob doesn't want you hanging around with us anymore. Talk about a knife to the gut.
Yeah.
So you have to turn your head down and walk away, and then, worry about showing your face again around this area. And so that level of rejection, where you so wanted to be a part of something and so wanted to be hanging around with these people, and they literally told me to my face that they didn't want me around, is...
Goodness, that's nearly soul crushing right there at that age. Oh,
Isn't
man.
it? And I, to this day, I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember the feeling. I remember the pain. I remember all of it. These are the things that shape us over time. And I spent a lot of time in my early teens wanting to be friends with people who didn't want to be friends with me, because I had such a low level of self-esteem. I didn't have a good sense of myself. I didn't have confidence. I didn't have any of that stuff. And it took me a long time until I became an adult to actually become confident and comfortable with who I am. And I'm still not there. Are you kidding? But I would
Neither of us are.
None of us are. But I can guarantee you, there would be absolutely no way I would ever be able to sit in front of a camera like this on a stream when I was a teenager and bare my soul like this and talk about this and talk to people and give them advice and feel confident enough to do that, to put myself out there. Because it was like I was completely and utterly crushed. Yeah. So and that's how it just took me a while to love myself, to accept the fact that people actually do want to spend time with me and they like me. And, it's just, it was a hard thing to accept. And I will never, ever get past that feeling of the gut knife, to have people tell me that I didn't belong there, that they didn't want me there. So
it always felt like a cold to me. It felt like a sharp, cold feeling just like emanates out of my chest when that stuff kind of happens.
Yes. Oh God, that cold feeling.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, you know that feeling, just that like show-stopping, like sit in your car and cry for an hour kind of feeling.
Yes. Like that you will never be able to show your face in public again. So if you think about those kinds of things that have shaped you in your life, and that have affected you from a young age. And going back to some of those betrayals and thinking about, how did you get over that? Like, I haven't thought about that situation with Rob for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
God, I'm old. But when I started to actually think about those moments of that rejection and betrayal and all that kind of thing, that is one of the first ones that came up in my brain. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I was young. I was, preteen, teenager, and those are life-shaping moments. And if you don't know how to push past that, if you've never gotten the opportunity or your life has continued to be doing that, it's very hard. So I am always going to be Pollyanna here. I am always going to be the believer that you can come back from anything if you want it bad enough.
Mm-hmm.
But you are going to have to work at it, and you are going to have to really dig in it. And Illidan, you do need some counseling. Very strongly do need counseling to help you with your vision of yourself.
Yeah.
Your self-worth, your vision of who you are, and how you think people see you. It's very difficult. It to me, this is kind of on the verge of what it would be like if you had body dysmorphic disorder or something of that nature, like an anorexic or a bulimic, where you're believing something this is what you believe, that, I'm fat when you weigh 97 pounds. Those kinds of really disconnected things where you're just, what you believe and what people believe could be very, 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 very different. But you're going to believe what you believe until you can change that.
Yeah.
So, can you think of a moment where you've kind of changed your mindset about yourself, like about how you see yourself or who you are, to the positive side?
Well, I can. Trying to peg down the exact time, but growing up, I was the little fat kid that everybody in school picked on a lot. And it happened a lot, to the point where I got in fights in junior high and started fighting back. And I could call that instance maybe one that changed for the positive, because I stopped just taking it and started making people stop making fun of me because I punched them. But that's not a very big helpful one, because I did go to the principal's office for that one.
But how did it make you feel standing up for yourself?
It was empowering, because I was like, I've taken this too long, and dagnabbit, I'm not going to take it anymore. Like, it was just something in me snapped. It's because I nearly got permanently injured by a kid when that happened, and almost broke my neck. And that was when all the walls fell down, and I was like, that tears it, and got in trouble for it because it happened in a classroom during class.
Wow.
But another time is when, I guess in college, when it first started to turn around, where, I stopped feeling really bad for myself because I found something that I enjoyed, and I found a group of people that I could enjoy it with, and that was band for me. Is because I was in band during all junior high and high school, and you get that band, people kind of pick on you a little bit, but I kind of straddled the line, and I don't think Dad knows the story on that one.
No, he probably your dad is in the chat room hearing
like,
this.
What?
Your neck almost got broke.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like literally probably, but it hurt. Like, a guy pushed me down, and I hit my head on a bookshelf, and it jerked my neck forward real bad on the floor. Really, it smarted a whole lot.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the principal's office that day because there was a substitute teacher, and she stepped out of the room for that minute. Needless to say, the whole class was like, they were afraid, because I had just snapped that day. I picked up a desk, and I was chasing the kid, like a full-size desk over. Like, I was like 7th grade, full of just preteen anger and rage, and I picked up the desk over my head with one hand, said, I'm gonna freaking kill you, and ran him around the classroom after him, until finally I just put the desk down and I sat down in it and waited for the substitute teacher to come back.
Wow.
And so she took us outside the class because of course people told on me.
Of course.
And, of course, and, I got out there and just told her what happened. And they were like, okay, well, I'm not going to take you to the principal's office, but, apologize, both of you. And then, so that was the time when it stopped. It didn't, that guy didn't pick on me again. In fact, we are friends today.
Really?
Yeah, we're friends.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is something, and that's a huge turning point. It had to resort to violence in order to get it to stop, but it was answering the charge that he was causing you physical harm, and so you threatened him back. I'm going to cause you physical harm if you don't stop.
Yeah.
Crazy. But I find it, and those moments, I never had that moment where I stood up to a bully who was coming after me in school. I always just took it, and but you dream of those moments where you could turn on that person and be like, the one who wins finally. And because it does change your self-esteem if people tell you constantly that you're worthless and terrible and suck and you're ugly and no one likes you and get away from here and all those things. It shapes you. It shapes who you are. So I find it, even to this day, I find it still, at 40 years old, I remember those feelings. I remember how it feels to be rejected or told that I wasn't good enough. And I am so happy that I have had a family that supported me and been there for me and always had my back and told me I was worth everything and I was smart and funny and, those things. And I could, so proud of me. But when you don't have that either,
that can be multitudes and multitudes harder to try and come back from if you don't have that kind of support at home.
Yeah.
Or if you've been betrayed at home, stuff like that.
And again, that takes you right back to the need for counseling. Because you do need to come back from some of that stuff too, which can, when you don't have the foundation for that as well. So we're kicking up some stuff in the chat room, man. You guys are brave. You guys are brave.
Yeah.
And everybody here is brave. And so are you, Illidan. You're the cool. Oh, your dad's so sweet. Your dad, Jules, you are smart and funny. Thank you, Dad.
Yeah, he is.
I can't wait to meet your dad someday. What I was saying was that you are brave because you are acknowledging these things about how you feel. Even if you are just coming at it anonymously and but what I find awesome is that you have found a community of people who you feel are worth their oxygen in your world. And I find it great because it means that you've connected with people. And I want to see that continue for you because even if you don't have a strong family foundation, we've said this numerous times on this show, that friends can be as strong as a family connection, good friends, people who can connect with you. And it's going to take some work on your part to connect with people and trust them and allow them to be fallible and screw up and not be the perfect person, and they will disappoint you. My best friends in the world have disappointed me, but
it's part of being human.
It's part of being human because as long as they're a good person at their core, then that's all I need. I had to get past that because I used to be really tough to get to know because I was afraid of being disappointed by people. It's very difficult to get to know me because I would be like, nope, I'm good. I'm better off without it, So that's
need anybody in my box. Stay out of my box. This is my box. You over there, I'm in here. We're good.
So honestly, this show has helped me with that. It has helped me to put myself out there and allow that to come in and to connect with people. And if I've ever talked to people and related to the show, it's still a challenge for me. I still want to kind of back off a little bit and be like, but it is still, so it's a challenge that I face every day. Marconin helps me with that. You're so open and fun and willing to talk to people. And so I learn a lot from you because
Well, thank
it
you.
pushes me out of that box a little bit too. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't, you can stay in the box, but you got to come out every once in a while at least, see how the weather is.
And it's just, I'm happy when I'm outside of it. And
Mhm.
I find this is true. I'm happy when I'm outside of it, but I just don't, it's hard for me to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's hard to step out of it without wanting to just have that, have that space. And so I have to push myself to do it. It's work that I do is to
Mhm.
shove myself out of the box. And then I'll go back, I'll be back in the box for a little bit. Go back out again. So yeah, it is it's a challenge for me as well. But for Illidan, if counseling is available to you, 100% agree that this is something that you should pursue and look into. These days, distance counseling is available.
Mhm.
There are counselors who do Skype sessions. You don't have to be able to travel someplace to go get it. If
We
you
have the
want to,
technology.
yes. So if you want to contact us, we've got some people who have worked with the show in the past, and we can certainly try to help you to get that if distance is a problem or you can't connect with a counselor in your
Mhm.
area. Because I know some people in the past have said that's not possible for me. So that's a possibility we can help with too. But I think those steps are going to be there. The work is there for you. You can come back from it, but you just have to want to.
Mhm. It's never too late. If you're still able to type and to talk and to think, it's not too late.
Yep. Yeah. And you've connected with this group of wonderful people.
Mhm.
And they are most definitely, in my mind, worth their oxygen. So most definitely. So in any case, good luck to you. We hope that someday we'll get an update on how things are going, and then it's going to be a good
Mhm.
one. So,
Yeah.
all right. And again, if you would like to send in your questions for the show and let us and our wonderful chat room debate all over it, we can do so at questions@torrentthinktank.com. You can do so, I should say. And we are excited to receive every letter that we get. We got a lot of letters this week too.
Yeah, we
A lot of
did.
good
We
things
really
to talk
did.
about. So let's go ahead and do some tell us one thing. We're gonna break the chain here, have some fun, mix it up a little bit,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do
Be a
it.
good time.
Yeah, do it right now.
We read your submissions because reading your mind would just be creepy.
It's tell us one thing, and it's brought to you by you.
By what? By me. Nah. Today's Tell Us One Thing is brought to you by the WoW Iron Man Challenge. If you guys ever remember it, the Iron Man Challenge is back. The Iron Man Challenge is one of the most difficult challenges in World of Warcraft. You level your character wearing only white or gray quality armor. You don't use potions, no elixirs, don't wear heirlooms, and most importantly, no dying. If you die even once, you're out. This is brought to you by wowchallenges.com. It's a resurgence of the Iron Man Challenge website that kind of went away for a little while ago, but now it's back.
Yep.
In addition to the Iron Man Challenge, they also have 2 challenges available for the Peaceful Pacifists and the Ravenously Bloodthirsty. Over 1,000 Iron Men and women have accepted this challenge since the Cataclysm, but less than a dozen succeeded in the ultimate test of endurance and skill. Are you up for the challenge? The Iron Man Challenge is now hosted on wowchallenges.com. You can also follow them on Twitter at wowchallenges too.
Thank you for your sponsorship, WoW Challenges. And
Mhm.
we're going to start with Muzzy AIE. How many different versions of Star Wars do you own? Original, remastered, etc. Kane's got to help me with this because I've never bought a Star Wars copy in my life. He's got them all. So I don't know. He's going to have to tell me. I know we've got at least a couple of versions, at least. How about you?
I have a big old goose egg. I don't have any of them.
Really? You haven't bought
None.
any? Are you not a big Star Wars fan?
I like Star Wars a lot. I've seen all 6 of them and I enjoy them, but I didn't like them enough to just run out and buy them.
Yeah.
I watch them. I like Star Wars. I'm more of a Trekkie, but I really enjoy and appreciate Star Wars, so I don't really have like a hatred against it. It's just, it's not in my wheelhouse of stuff. I didn't like it enough to buy it.
Yeah.
I'll watch it, but like I'm
I've
excited as mess about the new ones.
Oh, I know. I mean,
I can't wait, but
I've never based my fandom on buying the movies to watch at home. Like it's just I've never been that person. Kane is completely different. Kane buys, if he likes a movie, it's got to be on our shelf. And I'm fine with it. It's not a problem. But so I know we have all 6 of them. But I don't know how many versions of them we have. And he still isn't answered in the chat room, so I can't tell you. But dear husband, oh yeah, he says a few. Somewhere the originals on VHS. We have the original trilogy on DVD and the full set of all the movies on Blu-ray. So which of the versions is that? Well,
so like the VHS, do you have the old one where Han shot first?
Oh, I'm sure
Or is it
it's
Greedo
that.
Please
Yeah.
be the Han shot first one.
There's like all those different versions. I know. I bought him a shirt that says Han shot first. He owns that shirt.
Hey, there you go.
Because he did shoot first. So yeah, I love Star Wars. I cannot wait for the new movie. I'm just excited to see where it's gonna go, and I hope we're not gonna be disappointed. So
I know. I hope not too. It's so far of like that little teaser thingy. I was like, wow, that's different. There's a broadsword or a long, like a claymore or whatever style lightsaber with the hilt blades and all that,
Yeah.
and then the rolly ball droid. And I was like, that's interesting. But it didn't really make me not excited for it. It just made me even more excited for it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait.
Return of the Jedi, it was, I think I connected most of that movie because I saw it when I was, old enough as a kid to see it and remember it and love it. And it breaks my heart to this day when I see Return of the Jedi on and they don't have the Yub Yub song at the end of this. Because Lucas took it out and he replaced it.
Why would he do that?
Because he didn't like it. And the Yub Yub song is my favorite song of the whole thing.
It's not up to him to say what. Oh man, that's like when they redid Return of the Jedi and they put the new Anakin Skywalker in at the end as like the spirit hanging out with Yoda and Obi-Wan. That's dumb. That's not. He didn't die as a little angst-ridden young 20-year-old. He died as the old, want to see you with my own eyes.
Yes.
Anakin.
Yes.
Like that was.
That was really dumb and it pissed me off.
George, please. I know you've got more money than whatever, but dude.
I just want to make the movies the way I thought about them in the 70s.
Well, no, you did. You made them that way.
They're fine.
They were fine because we fell in love with them that way. I know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to get into our Star Wars debate.
Yeah, we'll just table that for another discussion.
Read the next one. Go ahead, read the next one.
The next one comes from the creepy one. You've been invited to Blizzard HQ in Anaheim. Actually, it's in Irvine, isn't it?
Yes.
Where do you begin your tour / who do you talk to first?
Let's see. For me, the tour must begin at World of Warcraft area. And honestly, I would most be interested in hanging out with the CMs. Zharim and Bashiok and Nethera, all of those guys that I've met at BlizzCon and talked to and hung out with, and they're just fun. Dexari, I love those guys, and so that's where I would want to start, and I would really want to get down and dirty, see what they do, what's their day like, how do they deal with things. I can honestly I can picture some of it, but they it's just
replying to very angry things on the forums and angry tweets.
GG Blizz. If one of them does not have a sign in their cube that says GG Blizz that has like an arrow through it, I don't know if I can
or a giant thing that's like Nerf Paladins or something like that on the wall. Yeah, that's
Buff
a good
rogues.
one. Oh yeah, buff rogues, Nerf Pallies, buff mages.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would I would definitely like to hang out with the CMs as well. But I think first I would like to go visit Taryn Gregory and those people over in the cinematics department.
Yes.
And the sound and like the sound design people and talk to them. Oh man, That would be cool because I met Terry and Gregory at BlizzCon very briefly because we were doing the autographs for the voice acting panel,
Yeah.
and he was there. And I've talked to him a little bit on Twitter before, but just to see what he does, like I've dabbled in machinima back in the day too, and I was like, I really want to see their stuff. Like it's just very fascinating to me, and just really kind of dig into the nuts and bolts of it, and oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? What do you guys think about this? Just really just pick their brains to try and learn more,
Yeah.
and just kind of go in there to soak in knowledge like a sponge, and then also hang out with the CMs as well. I'd like to do both.
Yeah,
But yeah.
it'd be an absolute blast to get to see it. And we had an opportunity, Kane and I, to go to Irvine.
Oh, really?
But if we would have had to have gotten there a day earlier in order to go, because someone was going on a tour and they were going to hold a spot for us. And I'm like, we can't get there earlier. I'm sorry. We can only get there Wednesday, not Tuesday. So that sucks.
Let's shoot for Tuesday this year, just in case.
Right? I know. Unfortunately, it's the worst time of year for Kane to get time off from work. And so we can just squeeze out like Wednesday to Sunday. And that's about it. So it sucks. 1 year. 1 year we'll try to do that.
Yeah, we'll hopefully get around there 1 year.
So from Gamer Azrin, what's one entertainment thing that you used to dedicate a lot of time and or money to, but don't do anymore?
Well, two things. One of them's Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
I used to play the mess out of that game. My stepbrother taught me how to play in junior high,
Okay.
and I devoted a lot of time and money into that. And I just don't have the time anymore to collect all the cards. Plus, we have Hearthstone now, which is it's really fun.
Yeah.
Really, really fun. So I do that. And the other one was I used to build models, like model spaceships with
Oh, really?
glue and like my room, which is now my nephew's room at my mom's house, has several Star Trek models hanging from like a clear thread with like paint and stickers on them and all that kind of stuff. So I used to do that a lot when I was little.
That's cool.
So-
So
I like that a lot. Yeah, what was yours?
I used to play a lot of tournament poker.
Really?
Yes, like free roll poker tournaments where you'd go in and you didn't have to pay to get in, but they'd give away prizes because you'd earn points by going to series and then you'd play in the finals and that kind of thing. And that's actually how we met Trelont, was because we were going to poker games. And it was how Kane and I started to become friends, was because I really wanted to learn how to play Texas Hold'em, and it was just when it was starting to become really popular and playing in these different bars and that kind of thing, and this guy was doing this whole tournament. So we used to go, and it would be several nights a week that we would go. And
wow.
I got really good, and so it was I was able to win a couple of nights, and I was able to place in some money tournaments and that kind of thing. It was good. But they still make fun of me because as a female playing poker, it's a very male dominated male dominated game, and on average if you go to a free roll, it's going to be a lot of men. And so a lot of the older guys like to try to intimidate you and try to, shove you off a good hand or that kind of thing. And we were in this middle of a cash prize tournament, and I was playing really, really well. And this guy was trying to bluff me, and I totally called it. And the tournament director was watching this hand, and he goes, "Holy crap, you've got some steel balls." So they used to call me Steel Balls all the time. That was my nickname for quite some time.
Oh man, and it's going to be again.
It is going to be again. Oh man, that was in it because I just stared this guy down and I called him and I had him beat, and he was, and I was so pissed, and I took him out, and yeah, they used to call me Steel Balls. So.
Is that one of your alts names? It should be. Like your Death Knight, Steel Balls, the Death Knight.
Oh, they're already calling show title. I'm not making it the show title. I have final say because I posted it.
Darn it! I was gonna recommend it, guys, but she vetoed it.
If there's an overwhelming quorum on this one, we'll see. But
Oh, there's going to be.
I know it was. I had moments like that. So there was my prior last name began with an S, so it had a nice alliteration to
So
it.
it was Steel Balls last
Yes.
name.
It was pretty awesome. So
Oh, that's funny.
I impressed a lot of people that day, and they didn't want to mess with me after that point. So it was pretty awesome.
Yeah. You kind of threw your weight around there.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I'm
Established
drinking,
it.
I won a ton of stuff. Like, I'm wearing like the drinking glass I have right now. It says Badger Poker on it, and this is where we used to play. I don't even
Nice.
know if they're still playing or not. We stopped with that, but so yeah. So we have like a ton of pint glasses and T-shirts and things in this house with this. So, so there we
That's
go.
cool.
Go ahead and read the next one.
Yeah, next one's from Sir Gallo. What's the one thing you wish more people knew about you?
This is so hard. Like I
Yeah.
thought about this, and I'm like, I don't know what to say for
I don't
this.
want to tell them that.
I know. The one thing you wish people knew more about you. I think it's mainly that how introverted I can be. You know, when you get on a show like this and you're kind of just laying it out there and talking, it's so like if I am at a con and I am not engaging with you as much as I should be or I want to, it's literally that introvert in me that's going, go someplace quiet, because and it has nothing to do with you, and it is something I fight with, because I'll get to that point even if I'm hanging out with friends, and I'll literally get to that point where I'm just like, I need to go, like I just want to go. Can I go?
Mhm.
Can we just go? So, and it just repeats in my head. We should just go. Can we go? I just want to go home now. Can I go home now? So I hate that voice. I hate it.
Yeah. I get that. I get that sometimes too. If I'm in a situation where I don't know anybody, or it's a brand new situation, I have to fight through that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the first year of BlizzCon, I had to fight through that a good bit.
Yeah. Last year you were fine, and last year I was fine.
Yeah.
I couldn't get enough of it, and I finally was just like, I gotta go to bed or I'm gonna get sick. Like it was literally like I just gotta go to sleep. So that was more of it. So I would say how much of an introvert I really am is something that I wish people knew more about, because it's one of those things that I fight with.
And this one's a tough one for me to answer, because I mean I don't really pull a lot of punches with what like when we're talking about things.
Yeah, it's
That's
hard.
a really tough one for me to answer.
If like you have a deafness in one ear, or or you don't like being too hot, or
Well, I'm from the South. It's hard to get away from that, but I
Yeah.
don't like being hot.
seriously.
Oh goodness. Trying to think.
Well, if you can't think of anything, we can move on. That's fine.
Well, I don't know if there's like a little quirk or something that I sometimes if it's dark outside like it normally is when I work third shift, and like middle of the night when I'm at the house for the weekend, I just feel like there's a Subway down the road that stays open 24 hours because it's in a gas station.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm in the situation where it's dark outside and I'm like walking to my car, I instantly think people are running up behind me and they're going to get me. So I have to like run into the car and shut the door and I lock it, or I'll run into the house and slam the door shut. Or if I'm walking,
that feeling too.
that kind of icky feeling. Oh yeah, and Dad reminded me, I hate bugs. Like I hate bugs.
I
I
hate
don't want
bugs
bugs
too.
crawling on me. Nothing like that. Like at the house there's the front porch light will be on, and during the summer, lots of moths. Everything is just swirling around it, and it's right there by the door. So if I try and get in and there's bugs just flying, they're getting in my hair, they're getting all over my shoulders, my face, and it's just I'd rather just the light be off, because I was like I just don't want bugs around me. Just let me get in the house. And, they'll follow me into the house and like, get these bugs off me. Oh my gosh, it's just creepy crawlies, man.
You're
I
like
don't.
me. I don't like bugs either, but
Yeah.
oh
But
yeah.
if it's if it's a ladybug, that's one thing. But if it's anything with 8 legs or a stinger, those are my two caveats right there. Anything with 8 legs or a stinger, I wig out about because I don't want to be stung. I don't want to get spider bites or anything that lay eggs in my arm or whatever they do.
No!
Anything like that. Yeah,
Oh.
I want to avoid that situation altogether. I
Next
just want to stay
question,
away.
please. Next question.
What's yours? Yours is next.
All right. For Mammoth, would you rather have magical powers a la Harry Potter or super advanced tech that seems magical a la Q from Trek?
Well, I mean, well, it's not really the Q are pretty much omniscient beings. They pretty much have magic. They're gods essentially. Snap their fingers and anything can happen.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think maybe along the lines of would you rather have magical powers like Harry Potter, advanced tech like Iron Man type of a thing?
Sure.
Would,
Okay.
would you want it to be, tech or like tech
Magic.
magic? Kind of like the question from a few weeks ago from DC Universe Online. Would you rather have magic or tech? And for me, I don't know. It's tech can always break down on you. You could
Yeah.
always have something fail. So, I mean, you're relying on your magical power comes from within and from your own will and your own, personal strength. So I think for me, the magical powers would be more reliable. So I'd probably go with magic. I am a mage after all. So.
Yeah, I think the dreamer in me, when I was a kid, I was like, it's all this kid stuff, but I used to just absolutely wish I could fly. That was the
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing. I wanted to fly so bad. And so, wanting to be like Superman and being able like a bird and just like, why can't I be like a bird? And so, so that would probably be magic, the magic side of it. I was into magic as a kid. I loved, making things disappear and all those cool things. So it would definitely be magical powers because, that's the dreamer in me. That's the the kind of exuberant kid.
Yeah, and as a kid, I liked magic, but also liked like tech stuff more because I was really big into into science fiction stuff. Of course, Star Trek. Like as a little kid, Ghostbusters was a huge influence when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And all that kind of proton packs and all that, and goodness, Back to the Future as
Back
well.
to
So
the Future.
all that kind of techie stuff and sciencey and inventing things I was all about. But now when I think about it as an adult, I'd rather be a wizard than a tech man. As I think as a grown person, I would rather be magical.
Fair enough.
Because you think about the tech breaking, like, oh, it's broken, it can't fly. If I'm magic, I can always fly.
Just plain creepy. Just said now I have Nelly Furtado stuck in my head. Thanks, Jules. Sorry. I'm like a bird. Yes, there you go.
There you go.
Go ahead, read the next one.
Okay, the next one is from Sparrowhawk1. You have a talented bartender and access to any beverages or ingredients for a drink. It is paid for. What do you order?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I think in that case I would just say I like things that are sweet. Make me something awesome. I would tell someone, and I do this a lot with it's like make me something that you would drink. If I could do that with a bartender and they're nice to me and they're not like a jerk and they're like just tell me what you want. If they're
What'll it
creative.
be?
Yeah, what'll it be? Because I like all different kinds of things. I mean, lately I've just been drinking a lot of beer because there's certain beers that I really like. And I don't know what it is, but as I've gotten older, I can drink bourbon straight up. Or on the rocks, with nothing mixed in it. I can drink that.
Woo!
And I used to not be able to do that.
I guess I need a bit more seasoning for me on that one. I got to wait a little while before I could do that.
Well, like I said, I'm old. So you gotta stay in the oven a little bit longer, son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you can pop out and drink your bourbon.
Yeah. needs more time.
Yeah. So yeah, whiskey, bourbon. I never thought I could drink those before, and finally, I'm just starting to do that. They're lecturing me in the chat room. I know I'm not old. I'm 40, so I gotta accept the fact that I'm half baked. Not for real. Not for real. Not real.
You mean like the movie? No, not like the movie.
I have never,
like the
ever smoked pot, by the way. I've never tried it. Never did. Never had the opportunity to. So
Yeah. Oh gosh, what would I do? Unlimited. Well, see, any access to anything it's paid for. I'd like to try Cristal, that champagne. Their rap
yeah.
stars are always talking about. I've never had that.
Or Dom
It's champagne,
Perignon.
but yeah, I would try that.
Yep.
I would try that just to say I've tried it. That's why on my honeymoon we went to one of Emeril Lagasse's restaurants in Orlando, and I tried like a foie gras. I'd never had it before, and it was part of the whole dinner thing, and I was like, I'll try it just to say I've tried it. Same thing with a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'd try a nice champagne just to do that because. Pretty much anything else I could either make or find myself. But if it's paid for, either that or like when they find like an old 16th century trade ship between the Americas and Britain, and they still got sealed casks of whatever in there of whatever things they're making, or things they brewed, and it's still good, tastes like garbage, but is still drinkable, because it's fermented or whatever. Because I saw that recently they had another, recently they had a lot of stuff like that about, they found a pirate ship, and it still had sealed bottles of beer or something, casks in there, and they had some really highfalutin people drink it and really comment on the notes and the flavor and the hints of it, and they were like, oh, it tasted like charcoal at the beginning but finished like a bin of hot garbage or something like that. It tasted horrible. It's way beyond time to go. But yeah, if somebody's going to pay for a drink, I'm going all out and just get something expensive just to say I tried it.
We've got a second show title to contender: Sealed Cask of Whatever.
There you go.
The chat room's gonna vote at the end of the show.
It's the new trinket coming in 6.2, the sealed cask of
whatever.
Whatever. Oh man, Grand Nagus, I don't want red wine. Go straight to my head.
Yeah, I can't even drink red wine.
Sorry,
anymore. It gives me migraines. It sucks.
I had to channel some
I love
UB4.
red wine and I can't drink it. It sucks.
I don't think I've really had much red wine. I think I've mostly just cooked with it.
Yeah.
Put it in some French stuff French dishes that I made before.
Yeah.
It was good.
It was good.
It was good. Like the whole thing. It was. It's like a pot roast. It was delicious.
All right, we're going to do the last one. You have to get one houseplant from any video game, whether it's a Mario Chomper, the Sims Death Flower, or a pea shooter from Plants vs. Zombies. What plant do you grow and why? Question spawned by my new shiny interest in gardening from Rita. I don't know the Sims Death Flower. I've never played the Sims for that side of it. A long time ago I played the Sims.
Yeah, I would get Mario's Fire Flower.
Mario's fire. Oh, not the chomper.
Yeah, the fire.
The one that shoots the fire pellet out.
The one that turns me into like Mario with white and red, and I can shoot fireballs out of my hand for a limited time. I do the Fire Flower because I when I was little I used to I still do. I love fireworks and stuff. It was like not quite like pyromania, but I just liked seeing things blow up.
Yeah.
So fire, throw things in fire. That would be kind of cool.
I don't know about you.
I would say Fire Flower.
I don't want anything in my garden that can get me at range. I don't. Like you got a death flower. I don't know what the death flower does, so someone's gonna have to tell me. But the pea shooter can, it's gonna like hit you in the ass as you're walking through the garden, and you're like, "Come on, pea shooter!
I just wanted to water you.
I'm just trying to get the bucket." So at least you could put the chomper in the corner and not walk over there. So then it could, be like walking around there and be like, "Oh, chomper, you can stay over there, and mommy doesn't have any food for you right now." So, but I don't want my plants to be able to hit me at range. No.
Yeah, I just like every once in a while, if I see the fire flowers have grown up a little bit, I'd take one of them and go out to like a field or something and hold it and then start throwing fireballs out for a little while.
But what if the plant could get pissed off at you because you didn't feed it enough? I mean, come on, your cat.
The fire flower?
Yeah, can't it shoot fire at you?
No, it just you punch the question block and then it just stands there.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of the other one. I'm thinking of the
it's not
one
an
that shoots
NPC.
the fire out of it.
No, it's not one of those fire chompers. It's just a fire flower, just the thing that you grab and you can turn into fire flower Mario.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. That one they can shoot fire at me. I don't want that. No.
This is turning into something intense in the chat room right now. But no, I don't know what you guys would choose here, but I don't know. I'm always fascinated. Like if you go to a like an arboretum or some place that has flowers, they'll usually have a section of like the eater plants, like the pitcher plant and the Venus flytrap, and I love those things. I'll just sit there and stare at them like, you're mean.
You're a carnivore. You're a carnivore plant.
Carnivore plant. You're mean. And if you want us to giggle and make fun and have fun over your question for Tell Us One Thing, you can send them in on Thursdays. Thursdays are Tell Us One Thing Thursdays, and you can do that on Twitter at Torrent Think Tank. You can send them through email at questions@torrentthinktank.com. You can do all of those lovely things to participate and be a part of the show, because this show doesn't do anything without your letters and contributions.
We are powered by the Moo Crew.
We are powered
100%.
by Moo and Crew.
We're powered by Moo.
And you. And so now we are going to talk about your
By Moo Crew and you.
feedback.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you... Wow, that's a lot of feedback.
Yeah, it is. We have a lot of feedback this week, and I'm excited. You want to read the first one?
Sure, this one's from Zandara. Thank you for this episode. You know me, I'm all about spiritual woo-woo, but lots of inspiring discussion in this one. If you haven't read about Danielle Laporte's Desire Map before, check that out. It goes into the quote, why we want to do this aspect y'all were talking about, full force. So that's cool.
Yeah, this was in relation to finding your passion last week. If you haven't heard that show, I'd definitely recommend it. You guys were really, really cool and gave us lots of great feedback about it. And so, yeah, Danielle Laporte's Desire Map is what she is suggesting as part of that discussion. Cool. Yeah. So I looked it up. It looks pretty cool. I'm probably going to pick it up and read that one next. So... And the next one we got was from Heidi. She said, hi, enjoy the show and often feel like Jules is a kindred spirit. Well, thank you. At work, so this will be short, but one thing I used to use to break down the word fear, false emotions appearing real. Just some food for thought. You guys take care. Love the show, from Heidi.
Yeah, when I read that one the other day when it came through, I was like, yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I like that.
I know, and I think I'm going to try to remember to use that. It's
Same here.
It's a good one to come in there. False emotions appearing real when you think about the word fear. So
yeah. But now if a lion is chasing after you, that kind of fear is not a false emotion appearing real. That is a real tiger or lion appearing hungry. So
and run away
and
now.
Run. So run from the angry carnivores.
I think this next one we're gonna have to act this one out.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have to act this one out.
Okay, I guess I'll be the him.
I think you should.
So, I know this one. So you go ahead and start it. Since
okay.
It's the female voice.
Back in high school, I had a boyfriend actually break up with me on April Fool's Day. The conversation went something like this.
Look, it's just not working out.
What's not working out about it?
You're way too clingy.
Insert long, heartfelt conversation about him not wanting to date me anymore and me not understanding, leading to long, awkward silence. Silent tears coming from me.
What do you want me to say?
I was kind of hoping for April Fools.
Sorry, this isn't a joke. But you can go ahead and say whatever you want. Yell at me, scream at me, call me a bastard, whatever is going to help you.
I'm 3 weeks late.
What? Oh my... No! Oh. Oh gosh. April Fools.
Some friends told me later that what I said was just too mean. But to be honest, I don't even feel a little bit bad about it. If I hadn't clicked that I just mentioned April Fools before the trick pregnancy scare, I'd have told him that was just what it took for me to feel better about being dumped, was to nearly give him a heart attack. From Amelia.
Yeah, that one gave me a good laugh when I read that.
Like, whoa.
Yeah,
Ouch.
because we were talking about April Fool's Day pranks and scares and stuff like that, and a lot of people will put on Facebook that they're pregnant or whatever, and we were saying that's kind of not a good thing to do. But in this case, I guess it's kind of appropriate to do that because your boyfriend dumped you on April Fool's Day and it was not a joke.
That
so
is the ultimate
you
revenge.
kind of that's a bit of funny revenge right there. That's funny.
Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, Jules and Marconin, longtime listener and fan. When listening, I oftentimes hear Marconin mention his wacky work hours, which I totally understand. I have worked the graveyard shift in a variety of roles for the better part of a decade as a manager for a large telecom company. This puts a huge damper on my passion for Warcraft raiding. Several years ago, I started my own 10-man progression guild that went through the trials and tribulations in recruiting, and ultimately we merged with a larger daytime guild. I am huge on the social aspect of the game and thought, man, there has to be others with similar problems as myself that want to enjoy the game but don't know that there are alternatives out there. I established a daytime raiding community site and have more than a dozen daytime guilds with various progressions that share their info for the world. I'm not sure if you guys ever promote communities like this, but if you do, we would love to be featured. Love your show and glad you guys do what you do. And the site is daytimerating.guildlaunch.com from Dark Wushu, aka Nick.
Yeah, and that's awesome. I'm going to check them out because that is one of the hang-ups if you do work third shift is that you're always working when people are raiding or you're sleeping and about to get ready for work or something like that. So, to be able to get off work early in the morning and raid in the middle of the day, that's awesome. So
Yeah.
I'm glad he's gone to this length to kind of get people together so that they can, and with cross realming and everything like that, it's an easiest time as it's ever been to do this kind of stuff and get to raid together. So I like that a lot.
So if this has any interest to you, check them out at daytimerating.guildlaunch.com. And I thought that was pretty cool, so we put it in the show for you.
For you.
It is time. It is the time of the Slash Moo.
Yeah.
Start us off.
From Brian K. Slash moo to my wife of 1 year today. Thanks for putting up with me and my WoW addiction.
So cute. And this was put on Facebook, and his wife replied and said, anything for you, honey. You keep playing. It's like, oh, so cute.
That's cute.
That was awesome.
That is so cute. You got a winner right there, Brian.
Yes,
you got a winner.
you do. Slash moo to my guildies who won't hear it, lol, for putting up with my ranting about no mounts dropping and loot bugging out. And to Alderic for just general amazingness. From Birdie, a.k.a. Baranda, Kieran Tor, a.k.a. Lady Birdness, in your chat room.
That's awesome, Lady Bird. The next one comes from Susie. Is it Susie T?
Yes.
It's from Susie T. Slash moo to my raid team, Vox Radix, for getting Mythic Oreo Gorger this week.
Oreo Gorger.
And she did put in Oreo Gorger.
She did. That rocks. Thank you.
Yes.
From Nate_CTR slash moo to me for switching to the graveyard shift for finances and personal sanity. Nate, I hope you still can raid with us.
Welcome to the dark side.
Dark side of the fools.
Say goodbye to the sun. The last one, the last slash move for tonight comes from Tub Stout. Slash move to my late night raid team. Praxidus. Yeah, Praxidus for downing. Yeah, Praxidus for downloading. Oh my goodness. Let me start the slash move over again. Holy crap. Holy cow. Last one's come from Tub Stout. Slash move to my late night raid team, Praxidus, for downing Heroic Blackhand and then one-shotting him the following week. That's awesome. One-shotting him on Heroic.
That is amazing. And thank you for your slash moves. And even those
thank
of you that cheated earlier in the show and you gave us
Yeah.
Slash Moose, which you shouldn't. You're supposed to give Slash Moose to other people. And that's what the section is. If you have something really cool that someone has done or that you want to give them praise, you can do so with a Slash Moo. And we can take them on Saturdays or whenever you want to send them in. Go ahead and do that. Our show is available on iTunes and Stitcher Radio and a variety of other wonderful places like alphageekradio.com. You can check us out, listen to the show. You can go to our website and find our latest show on our website as well. There's a player embedded right there on the front page, and you can hear us right there without having to click one more thing. And we thank you for every download you give us and all the places that you listen to us. We appreciate it greatly. And with that, we have come to the end of this prepared show, or almost to the end. And it has been a fun ride tonight.
It has been a fun ride. A nice, long, and sometimes treacherous trip down memory lane into our past. But it's been a good ride, and it's been a good night. Thank you for
I
joining
don't
us,
know if
guys.
I'm going to be able to avoid having like unearthed memory nightmare type of things tonight after all of that. But that's okay. It means that there's some things that need to be kicked around and resolved. But again, if you guys have questions that you want to send into the show, please do. We love your feedback. We want to hear what you have to say about what we had to say. And if we didn't hit the nail on the head, tell us about it. We want to talk to you and hear about what you're thinking, because you are as much a part of this as we are. Marconin, anything you want to plug or talk about, or anything going on for you?
Well, this past week I sat down with Rayanne, Arcane, and Midnight, and we recorded the second half of our review of Ready Player One. And that is for Realm of Books podcast, which you can find at realmofbookspodcast.com. It's not out yet, from what I understand, but just you can go ahead and give, I think, the first half a listen, and just generally just check them out, because they're two great people, at least two great people, sometimes more. They kind of guest host, and we have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
A lot of good commentary, good discussion, a lot of funny voices, the usual. Just a good time.
Ready
So,
Player One. Love it.
oh man. Yes, fantastic book. Can't wait for the movie.
I know.
Don't ruin it, Spielberg.
Please
Do
don't
good.
ruin it.
Do good.
Very
Do good.
cool. Anything else that's going on with you?
Oh, not much. And barring any unforeseen circumstances that may arise, I will be raiding with Cat on Fire on Monday night.
Yay.
So that'll be a lot of fun. And
Fantastic.
that's about it. I don't really have much else going on other than that. What about you?
We didn't have an episode of I Remembered It Better this week because unfortunately Cliff's grandpa passed away. So we didn't have a show so he could spend time with his family. So we're going to be back next week. So yeah, check it out. If you haven't heard I Remembered It Better, it is a geek nostalgia show where we talk about a lot of cool stuff. We did the last episode we talked about the movie The Running Man, which neither Ryan or I had seen. And so we saw it for the first time and talked about it. And we do that every once in a while with movies that somebody hasn't seen or doesn't know about. And usually it's me who hasn't seen it. So, but it's a lot of fun. So again, the show is called IRememberedItBetter.com. Just a quick reminder about the Minnesota meetup. Make sure that if you're thinking about going, that you go ahead and RSVP as a maybe, or that you're considering going. It's a great time, guys. There's a ton of people that come every year, 40 to 50 people that you get a chance to meet. And we are having our friend Tuli from Sweden return again for this.
Nice.
He's coming again for this. So people come as far away as Sweden. So if you live in the Midwest area, then you got no excuse. You got no excuse.
Goodness.
You got to come out there. Come out, hang with us for the weekend. It'll be a blast. And with that, I think it's time to bring this show to its close, don't you think?
Let's do it.
That up a little bit. Torrent Think Tank is a proud member of the Signals Media All-Star Network. Find out more about the other great shows in the network by going to signalsmedia.com.
Our voiceovers are done by the two Uber mages, Arcane and myself, Marconin. You can find us outside of the show on our website, torrenthinktank.com, which has all of our podcasts and information on how to get in touch with us as well. Don't forget to get your Triple T t-shirts at slashloot.com. 3 designs to choose from in a few different colors. It's a They're really cool, and I love mine.
I'm wearing mine tonight right now.
Yes,
Thank
you are.
Thank you to all of our patrons. The show will always be free, and your support helps us to do even more. If you would like to become a patron of the show, you can do that at patreon.com/TaurinThinkTank.
You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/TaurinThinkTank. You can also find us on Twitter for the show at TaurinThinkTank. You can also find Jules at JulesRPG and myself, Marconin, at MarconинWow. You can also chat with us on our forums, and if you want to give those boards some love, just come on and join us over at forums.signalsmedia.com.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, chat room, for being with us every Saturday night, hanging out with us, debating with us, discussing together all the things that we're talking about. And you can be a part of the chat room every Saturday evening at 9 o'clock Central Time at twitch.tv/TaurinThinkTank. If you're listening to the show on the road, our mobile audio stream is through Alpha Geek Radio at tunein.alphageekradio.com. We do love seeing you here if you're able to be around. So... We're going to get out of here and go enjoy our rest of our weekend. Marconin, I'll see you next week.
Yes, and we will get some raiding done, down some bosses, get some loot.
Let's get some loot.
Some loot.
Have a great week. And everybody have a great week for Marconin, for Arcane, for the entire chat room. Until next time. /moo, everybody.
/moo.
And we're going to do... I screwed it up again.
Tauren Think Tank. We make your problems less bad.
This podcast is a part of the Signals Media All-Star Network. For more information on this and other fine shows, go to signalsmedia.com. It's okay to stick our stuff in your ears. Really?
Really? There is no way I'm going to get that right. There really is no way I'm going to get that right. It's just going to be a thing. It's just going to be a thing that's going to amuse you all. It's just going to be a thing. Oh, I know we say this every freaking week, but you guys are amazing in your conversations in the chat room. Just make
really
this
good
show. I cannot thank you enough for how awesome you guys. Okay. You have to do... Midnight wants you to do the voice that I've been waiting to hear.
Okay, let me get the right frame of mind for this. Where am I going to start with this?
Midnight told you to do it, but I don't want to do it. But Midnight said you must. But Midnight's not talking. She's not my master. Well, who is your master then? Jules is.
Oh!
She's my master. She's the one that tells me, not Midnight. There you go, Midnight. Are you happy?
You asked for... He said your name about 5 more times than mine.
I had to.
Because she asked for it.
She did ask for it. She did.
It's really creepy. But see, now that she has 2-syllable name and I have a 1-syllable name, it's a lot rougher on her than it is on me.
I could just do it. I could do the whole. I could do the whole raid night on Monday.
No, you're not going to do that. I will mute you on Mumble if you do that.
Jules wants us to do Time Warp, Precious. We've got to wait for the enrage timer.
I have this tradition before we start the raid, when we do our first ready check, and everybody's kind of doing their thing. We usually are playing around, and people got toys out and all that stuff. And so I will always start the raid by telling the tanks, "You may fire when ready." So that is my tradition these days. Nate, are you going to be able to raid with us if you're working nights, dude? Like,
he said he was.
Are you going to be able to raid with your other team? Because that's the question I had. Like,
Fire when ready.
You may fire when ready. No, Trestle, you traitor. Trestle, where have you been? Where have you been? I haven't seen you in ages. My friend. I haven't seen you in ages. Okay, he's not changing any of his WoW schedule. That's good. How the heck are you working nights? Are you like working midnight? You can start at like midnight and work all night? You raid before you go?
All night long. All night.
Oh, Trestle got a new job. Will Lillian. Congratulations, dude. Latest I'll get out of rate. Oh, you don't have to start work till 11. Gotcha. Okay, that worked.
Oh yeah, and with him being in whatever time zone Arizona is in,
Well, it's
Arizona time zone,
Arizona
whichever
time
it
zone.
is.
Now it's Pacific.
Now it's Pacific.
I think he's now in
Yeah.
Pacific time. I know, Trestle. We miss you too.
Yeah, sorry, my percussion was transmitting. I was just, I do that. I drum on things. I get it from my dad. He was a drummer.
It's the table drum. Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
table drum, steering wheel drum, leg drum, whatever's.
Shut
whatever's
up,
the-
Arcane. I'm not the boss. Yeah, I am the boss of Nate. He just doesn't know it yet. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, I think that's I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I could work starting at 11 o'clock and going to 7 every day, but it would probably be better than having to Nate. It'd be probably better than having to get up early in the morning. I hate early mornings. So
Yeah, me either. Like on actually Tuesday morning, I have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and so I'll be raiding till whenever we finish raiding. And then getting up
11
at 3.
probably.
Yeah, raid till 11, and then get up at 3. But luckily, I get actually no. Well, actually I get up at 4 because I have to meet the carpool at 5 and then ride 2 hours to the store, so I'll be able to sleep till between 5 and 7. So last week I had to do all the driving myself, so I couldn't sleep, behind the wheel.
Oh my God, Queepanjin.
Hmm.
He's our third $50 Patreon subscriber. Oh my God, thank you so. Okay,
Oh
Kermit
my
Flail
goodness.
time. Kermit Flail time. Wow, dude.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
Queepanjin.
so much. Holy shit. Holy shit. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What does that put us at?
Something.
I gotta go log in
Um,
and check it out. Hang on.
It's closer to the database goal, that's for sure.
That's- Patreon.com/TorrentThinkTank. Where are we? Oh
Hey, Bruce.
shit! We're at 269. That's awesome.
Oh goodness.
Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Okay, so what you just saw is what we do every single time somebody donates. So we can we do that
Yeah.
every single time. It's usually
Yeah.
text message. So
Yeah, it's text message Kermit Flails, because if I'm at work or something talking to a customer and then I start doing this for no reason, they're gonna be like, what? Sure, yeah, the new TV that's a 4K TV and it's got great resolution, and just excuse me one moment. So
excuse
they're
me
waving
while
my
I
hands.
do my Kermit play.
Yeah.
Oh, oh, thank you so
Oh.
much. That is amazing. Thank you.
Yes,
And
that
we will set up your Skype call. Our Skype calls are really fun, by the way. We have a good time when we do Skype calls. So you will set that up for you next month. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
That is
Thank
awesome.
you.
That is awesome. Whew. Well, now I'm just gonna be giddy all night.
Yeah. Definitely. And
gonna have to
Bruce, I
capture
don't know
that
if you're
portion
still
of the
listening in
video.
the post show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Bruce Warcraft, our buddy Bruce, he said he's been listening too long since I've joined, or it's been too long since I've joined for a live show. Fun stuff tonight, you two. So thanks
Aw.
for listening again,
Thank
Bruce.
you, Bruce. I love Bruce. He's awesome. Fellow Madisonite. Fellow Madisonite.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Very
yes.
cool.
Wisconsinite. We've talked about Madison quite a few times. He doesn't live here anymore though.
Oh okay.
Yeah, he used to live here. Same with Air. Gosh, Air is so cute. Because he used to live
Yeah.
in Madison too. So
Yeah, that was cool. The
uh,
Snoopy dance. Is that the from Peanuts, right?
I
Where
don't-
where Snoopy dances.
Midnight, I've got to ask him. I know he used to live here, Bruce, but I don't remember exactly if I don't think he lives here anymore, because he's never made it up to the Minnesota meetup or anything. I think he lives out of state now. But very much a Wisconsinite at heart. So anytime I show, like, I took a picture of Ian's Pizza last night when I went down to have Ian's Pizza for dinner. And everybody who was from Wisconsin was like, "Oh, dude, I love Ian's Pizza." It's like the staple. So.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that sounds good. The pizza we had tonight, I think it was like pepperoni, sausage, and hamburger, but it was like 18-inch wide, just huge New York style pizza here in Louisiana, and it was so tasty. I had 2 slices, and then I felt bad for having 2 slices because they were too big.
Thanks. Have a good night, Airlina.
Yeah, good night, Airlina.
Where, Gator? Are you from Madison? Do you know Ian's Pizza, dude? Like, seriously? Because it's like awesome. Marcona needs to come out here so we can take him to Ian's Pizza.
Yes, I do.
Yes,
I
we
really
got
do.
lots of places to take you. Got to take you to the old fashioned to get cheese curds, and where, Gator? I didn't know you're from Madison. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of a different name. I don't know if I remember the name. Do you go under a different name? Oh, right. Okay, now I got you. Now I got you. We went to the burger place together. Okay, got it. Yeah, Madison meetup, and the brewery tour, which was fun. So yes, that's the name. Sorry, thank you. That's the one. I didn't recognize Gator. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I'd like to come up there at some point. Yeah. I know we're talking about something for next March as well.
Yes.
For that weekend.
Oh yes.
Whatever weekend
when we
that
have
is.
the Warcraft movie, we're gonna figure out where the heck that's gonna be, and we're gonna do a meetup.
Yeah.
And we're gonna take a we're gonna take a time off, and we're gonna do that because that's an event. It's gonna be an event.
Yeah.
For the premiere of the Warcraft movie.
Yeah, that is. Man, I wish I was good at I wish I had time and space to devote to cosplay stuff.
Yeah.
Because I watched the video of the gal that did the Shadowmourne, how she did it, and it looked amazing. And I was like, I bet you I could figure out how to make some of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to do like Terragos's Rest, Dragon Wrath, huge staff, just boom right there, and have it, or even like the staff that Markonnen has now. It was Ronan's staff.
Yeah.
Just that one. I would love to have that.
I
Can't
if
wait.
I could just learn how to
I would
make
love to
stuff,
do that.
that'd be cool. I can't make stuff.
Yeah.
We have a lot of folks in Wisconsin, so I think we'll probably try to do, like, if we can, we'll try to do that Warcraft movie premiere here or somewhere in that area. But maybe we'll just try to run around and do all those. We'll do a Warcraft movie tour. We'll just go in different spots. We'll do meetups all over the country, and you guys can hang out.
Yeah.
I mean, in 2020, site just said
not
Colorado.
recording,
I
we just
would
said-
love to
we're
go to
doing a
Colorado.
close stream. But no, you're fine.
Axel.
Is he yelling? Dog's yelling.
Your video and audio quality went down a little bit as soon as we stopped, like, the actual show. So I don't know if your wife was doing something
Really?
with the internet or what, but it's,
Maybe. I don't know.
but
I'm not on.
It was fine throughout most of the show. You had just a couple of glitchy spots, but so,
Okay.
Yeah. See, now Nate can pick up 20, and you guys can do a road trip to Madison. It'd be awesome. Puppy, hi
I
Axel.
got the puppy.
Oh, this Axel.
Yeah, there's a dog.
Aw.
Hey, pup.
He loves you.
No cats today, but we do have the pup. He's about cat-sized.
And we can do KC around. Yeah, I've been to Kansas City. It's been a long time. We got to do that. We should do something. We should do something fun where we can put together
says hi.
a whole bunch of people where we can plan it ahead of time. People can save money, so we can start planning that probably pretty soon. For if we know when the Warcraft movie is going to happen, and you guys want to put aside some money, because I know, I'm talking about the Minnesota meetup, and I know that some people can't afford to go, and I feel badly about, it's our job to promote it because we need to talk about it and make sure the people who know about it. So, but if we can start planning something earlier on for all of you, like a triple T meetup of some sort where you guys can come together, even if you're from distance, and start saving some money, I think the Warcraft movie is it. I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, think about all of the Triple T fans that hang out in this chat room who can make it, being together and hanging around in the Wisconsin area. That'd be so cool. Come to Wisconsin.
Yeah, March 11th is when it's supposed to come out.
Okay, is that the Friday, or is it a Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay.
Believe that's I don't think they have Wednesday premieres during the spring. It's usually during the summer they'll do like an early premiere.
Yeah.
Oh, don't do that. Get out of that. Looking at my calendar. What was it? Did I say the 11th?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Friday.
Okay.
Second week of.
Second week of March.
Yeah, second weekend of March. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know, it's about a year from now. We can start looking at putting together something and giving a date, and we can give people time, and maybe Kane and I can just take a trip or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But I think we should plan a Triple T meetup. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I do too. We, like, you know, especially because, you know, I wasn't able to do the Minnesota meetup because it's, you know, I'm already doing. It was a stretch this year to do both Nerdtacular and BlizzCon, or it will be. So I'll be, you know, Arizona would be cool because Arizona's got a lot of people there.
That's true.
A lot of
There's
people that we know.
Folks that we know, and Arizona is definitely. It's hard.
Yeah. I was thinking Chicago because, I mean, it's a drive for you, but a flight for me. It's not bad. It's like 8 hours. Well, for me now, it's about a 10-hour drive, which is, I've done that before.
Mm-hmm.
I did that when I went to Houston almost. But, yeah, whatever we figure out to do, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and I know Arizona has a lot of folks who play WoW. There's a lot of friends from AIE. Nate is there, and you know, I'd love to go to Arizona too.
Midnight we could go on a.
We'll put together something for next year for a Triple T meetup that revolves around something cool, which probably is going to be the Warcraft movie. Garrus is literally laying like this with his paws out. Oh, it's the cutest thing right now. He is on his back, and his paws are straight around. He's doing a Superman pose. So cute.
Oh yeah, when I was in Chicago last summer, I did a Dresden tour. I did the aquarium. I did the church. Is it St. Mary of the Angels?
Yeah.
The church that from the books. I actually walked to it because I didn't understand how the metro worked, and I didn't realize that there was a metro station right next to it.
Oh.
So I walked that day. I walked over 20 miles that day, all through Chicago. That was a long day. But I did that. I went to where else did I? I went to the pier. I went to the aquarium.
Oh, wow.
Saw Sue the dinosaur. Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw Sue. That was the first thing I did. I've got pictures with Sue. I need to. Let's see if I can find that picture.
I was gonna try and get a picture of him doing his Superman pose and his upside down Superman. Yeah.
I think you sent me a picture of him doing that.
Yeah, this one was new. He was just like, so cute. Did you guys hear the story about when Jim Butcher did his research at the aquarium? I haven't heard this story.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, Draven, what did you?
I saw the otters. I got pictures with the otters. Here's New York, so I'm close. That was a heck of a 4 weeks. I spent 2 weeks in Chicago, 2 weeks in Philadelphia.
Oh gosh, I remember that trip you took.
That
was a lot of travel.
Yeah, it was. It was fun though. There's Philly.
Ooh, Yankee Red Sox game. Ooh, have fun. Have fun, Tressel. I miss you. Come back and see us sometime. Thank you for coming tonight. It's good to see you again, buddy.
Okay, I'm on the same day. Where is Sue? Deep dish pizza.
We saw Sue when Kane and I went down there. We went to the museum and saw her. She's a big dinosaur.
Yeah.
She's a big dinosaur.
Yeah, there's me and Sue.
A big dinosaur.
Big T-Rex. I actually saw Sue before she was in Chicago because she was dug up in South Dakota.
Yep.
That's where they found her.
Yep.
And they were about to ship her out because when I went, I have family in South Dakota, and there were signs everywhere that said "Free Sue" or "Leave Sue alone" because they wanted to keep her.
Yeah.
Because they were like, she died in South Dakota millions of years ago. Yeah. It's apparently the aquarium security doesn't like people asking questions about, quote, what would happen if someone shot the glass? No, it's research for work.
I'm really writing a book. I'm not trying to shoot the glass.
Yeah. So that's really cool. And I know Butcher lives in like Independence, Missouri. He lives in Missouri, so he's not, Oh, there's a video. Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Man, that's another thing that I need to do at some point soon is because Rayanne and I are supposed to do Grave Peril, the third Dresden book.
Right.
Just do a one-on-one. We were supposed to do it during Christmas, but that's when she wasn't feeling good, and so we weren't able to do it.
Right.
But hopefully we can do that soon.
Yeah.
Because I love that. That's the one that turned the tide for me. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, I need to keep reading these books.
That was
They're
the third
fantastic.
book. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, that was it for me. Because the second one, I liked it all right, but I was like, it's werewolves, it's okay. And then the third one, when they brought Michael in, and I was like, okay, yeah, it's like blowing the doors wide open on this universe. And it was like, yeah, there's a lot of meaty stuff that we could explore here.
So your video and audio are getting a little more choppy, so I think it might be
They
time
are?
for us to say goodbye. But
I'm sorry that it is. I don't know why it is. I'm not doing anything else that I know of.
I don't know either. But that's a good stopping point. We did a show. We had a good show. So we will see you guys next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for being here. We had a blast, and we will. Yeah. And keep your ears out because there's going to be some Triple T promos on the end of some of your favorite shows this week and coming up for the next ones. So, yeah, definitely take a listen because we've got some Triple T promos coming out for the show. Just bring in some new listeners, get people to know about us.
Now, keep engine. Is that L.A. as in Los Angeles or Louisiana? I'm guessing it's Los Angeles, but
I'm betting
if it was
so.
Louisiana, I'm not too far from. Well, I'm actually in Louisiana today, but. Yeah, I figure it's Los Angeles. But you guys have a wonderful evening.
Yes, and you guys
and
enjoy yourselves.
And we will see you. All right, Los Angeles. We'll see you next Saturday for another episode.
All right then, slash move everybody.
Slash move.
Bye.